Hey guys, welcome to Pocket Saga. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Ash was in Paldea with Lillie, part 1. This story is Ash's Paldea story by author raychiu. Before starting, if you are interested in Pokemon fanfictions, you can consider subscribing this channel and like this video, that will help a lot. Now let's dive in. Here's a short summary. Join Ash and Lillie on the journey of both school and region, exploring, finding their treasure and also meeting a lot of new Pokemon and people. Now let's get to the story. I was sitting on the plane heading towards a new region called the Paldea region. After becoming the world champion, my mom decided that I am going to a university and getting a degree so that I will be able to achieve further as a Pokemon master. Since I already defeat all of the champions of the region, and thus I'm going to a new region, it will be just like the Alola region, right? Ash, are you nervous? Speaking of Alola region, I am not going to the Paldea region alone, as someone is also coming with me. She is Lillie Ether, my classmate in the Alola region. You see, the school in Alola is great, but I guess the university in Paldea is for more advanced students. We were supposed to go there last year, but because I'm studying as an intern in Professor Cerise's lab, Lillie is going with her family to search for her father. The director of the school is nice in that he even approved to let our application for the school a year later. I'm fine. So where was the university that we're going again? I ask. We're going to Narayuva University, Lillie says to me. I can't believe you forgot it already. Yeah. I laugh a little while I look at the invitation. I wonder what we can learn in school. And I'm also excited to see new Pokemon. Pikachu and Snowy are by our side. The airplane staff is kind enough to give us a seat so our Pokemon can sit on it. Pokemon actually was supposed to be in the Pokeballs for safety, but since I'm the world champion, I guess they just let me off the hook. The plane finally arrives, and both of us walk out of the airport as we gasp in awe. There are a lot of olive trees and beautiful flowers. I can also see some birds with yellow, green, blue, and white colors flying by. Hey, buddy, look, we're in the Paldea region. I turn to my first partner, and he also squeals in agreement. Lillie says, you're always excited to go to a new region, Ash. Can't blame me because I'm in a region that I've never been to before, I reply. But by the way, I wonder where the school staff is. When we search around, we find a man with a scarlet jacket walking towards us. You must be Master Ash and Master Lillie, yes? I ask, so you're a staff from Narayuva University? The man smiles at us and says, sorry for my delay in introducing myself. I am the director of Narayuva University. You may call me Mr. Clavel. Both of us and our Pokemon are surprised. He's the director of the university that we're going in? But more importantly, the director was escorting us instead of sending a staff member? Lillie says, the director? You came in person so that we can make it to school? I'm responsible for the entire academy, especially since we have a world monarch and the daughter of the famous Ether Foundation to enroll in our school. I assume you all get the enrollment documents? We do. I say, so should we go to the university now? Clavel says, before we head there, I have something that I want to show you. The airport here is hardly the place for it, please follow me. Now I look around the place. We are in a place known as Cabo Poco, and the director manages to bring us to Poco Path so that he can show us something. Right then, dear Pokemon. Time to come out of your Pokeballs. I see that Mr. Clavel sending out 3 Pokemon. One is a green kitten Pokemon, one is a little red crocodile, and the last one is a white duck. Oh, my. Are those the starter Pokemon of Paldea? Lillie asks in awe. We provide each student entering the university a Pokemon of their own. I'll ask you to choose which among these 3 you'd like to have as your partner. Clavel says. Sprigatito, the grass cat Pokemon. Fuecoco, the fire croc Pokemon. And Quaxly, the duckling Pokemon. Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly. Those are some pretty good names. And I can see that Pikachu and Snowy are now greeting the new Pokemon, though they seem to be wary of Snowy for some reason. Pardon me, is this the Alolan form of Vulpix? It is not a common Pokemon in the Paldea region, Clavel says. But these 3 are all very good company. Why, they usually refuse to even leave my side. Are you sure about that? I ask as I see that the 3 Pokemon are starting to gather around us. Clavel looks at us and nods, So it turns out they're more interested in you, Master Ash and Master Lillie, than familiar old me. If that's the case, why don't you all take them? Are you sure? That is really nice of you, Mr. Clavel. I say as he gives us the 3 Pokeballs. Then Clavel says, since I have schoolwork to do, so I have asked a helper to help you 2 out. She's living in the house over there. Lillie and I notice a house standing in front of us, and it seems to be very big. We all follow the director to the house, and on the way, I can also see some old familiar Pokemon like Squavit and Vivians. And just when we arrive at the house, we can see that Quaxley jumps into the fountain, using the water to clean its feather, and then does a cool pose. Sprigatito is smelling the flowers as it gives a small meow, while Fuecoco notices an orange. He was so excited as he accidentally breathed out the fire that burned the fruit. Lillie says, all 3 of them are so cute. I agree. And then we notice a girl petting our Fuecoco. She is wearing a white shirt with orange shorts. Are you these 3's trainer? Well yeah. I say, and I see that Fuecoco was trying to give Snowy the burned orange, and Snowy just quickly refuses it. Pikachu pats the croc as he throws the burned fruit away. Hello, Nimona. These 2 are our university's newest students, Master Ash and Master Lillie. They will be attending as of today. Clavel says to her. So you really are the world monarch and the Ether family girl. Nimona rushes towards us and says, I've been dying to find out more about you. I'm Nimona. Normally I live in the school dorms, but home is here. What'd you say, wanna be friends? Lillie and I smile at her and I say, sure, we can be friends. Miss Nimona is the president of our student council and a champion-ranked trainer in her own right. Clavel says, and the 2 of us are shocked. That means the girl here might be the same strength as me. I absolutely love Pokemon battling. In fact, we should battle right now, you and me, Nimona says. A battle you say? I accept the challenge. I smirk, but Clavel says, easy, now. The 3 of you will be in the same class, so you'll have plenty of time to battle later, and get to know one another better, of course. We're gonna be classmates. Nice, we'll be able to battle all we want, Nimona says. Let's go to the beach, we have a giant battlefield there. As we head there, Lillie turns to Professor Clavel, so what's up with her? As you may have noticed, Miss Nimona is a tad overly fond of Pokemon battling, Clavel says. Just like Ash. Lillie says. I can see how similar those 2 can be. When we get to the battlefield, Nimona says, anyone can be a Pokemon trainer as long as they have Pokemon by their side. And it's our duty as trainers to help our Pokemon grow stronger through battle. So are you ready? You bet. Show me your best Pokemon. I say. Then I'll choose one of the partners that I've got from the school. Meowscarada. Nimona sends out the Pokemon, and I can see that it is a green cat with a mask on. I notice that Sprigatito is getting excited, so I have to guess it is the final evolution. Pikachu. I choose you. I send out my usual partner, and despite having the type of disadvantage, I trust my partner. Let's get started by using Quick Attack, I command, and Pikachu starts to charge at the Pokemon, but Nimona says, so fast. The attack manages to get in contact with this Meowscarada, but Nimona yells, Shadow Claw. The Ghost-type move manages to slash Pikachu as it falls to the ground. Pikachu. I yell in horror, but Pikachu gets back up and I say, good, use Iron Tail. Pikachu starts to jump in the air and lands the tail at the cat Pokemon, but Nimona says, use Flower Trick. Flower Trick? I was confused at the new move, and much to my surprise, after Pikachu landing a hit, I see that it starts to spin around and creating flowers. They start to chase after Pikachu while it is running until the attack hits. Flower Trick. That might be troublesome. However, you're not the only one with the tricks. I smirk, use Floaty Fall. Floaty what? Both Nimona and her Pokemon are confused, but Pikachu jumps into the air as illusion balloons start to levitate Pikachu until it disappears, crashing Meowscarada to the ground. Meowscarada. Nimona yells in horror. Clavel asks, oh my, what was that move? Ash told me that he has been training with Pikachu to learn new moves, and this is Pikachu's own flying-type move, Lillie says. A Pikachu that can use flying-type moves. You're full of surprises. Nimona cheers, now Meowscarada, use Play Rough. I say, Pikachu, let's finish this off with Parasitol Smack. This is Pikachu's bug-type move, and I decide to try it out, and much to my surprise, the attack manages to knock out Meowscarada after it tries to connect with Pikachu. Nimona looks at me with shock before saying, "Wow. That was awesome. To think your Pikachu can use moves I've never seen before." "You're the same. Meowscarada, right?" I ask. "That was an amazing battle." Lillie says, "You did it, Ash. That was awesome." "Thanks." I smile at her. Nimona says, "However, I have more than one Pokemon. How about we change a different strategy and—" Nimona. Clavel gives a stern look at her. "You do remember the mission I asked you to do, right?" Nimona says, Sorry, I got kinda caught up in all the excitement. I'm really sorry, Ash." "It's fine. As much as I want to battle, the director is right, we have some things to do." Clavel drops the stern glare and says, "But it seems like all of you are best friends. Can I count on you to take your new schoolmates here under your wing? I'm sure that the two of you can learn a great deal from a champion-ranked trainer such as yourself." "Of course." Nimona says. Clavel turns to us again and says, "That reminds me, since you're new to Paldea Pokemon, there's an app you definitely need. Please lend me your Rotom phones for a sec." Both Lillie and I give him the Rotom phone, and just as we expected, he is giving us the Pokédex app. Nimona says, "This app is really handy. Our homeroom teacher Mr. Jack actually made it himself. Back in my day, we used ordinary paper and handwritten notes to compile our Pokédexes. It is quite the age we live in now," Clavel says. "Oof. Filling out a Pokédex by hand. I can't even imagine how much work that would take," Nimona says. "We do have some experience after all," Lillie says to me, and I nod as I remember my Lycanroc and Melmetal. "Yet no matter how much the times may change, the wonder of meeting new Pokemon never does," Clavel says. "That is a truly timeless pleasure. And the more Pokemon that you encounter, the more you'll find yourself growing and changing. I hope you will both work hard toward the goal of compiling your own Pokédexes. Now, Miss Nimona, I do still have a few matters to discuss with your parents. Could I depend on you to see Master Ash and Master Lillie to the university?" "Of course, leave it to me," Nimona says. And then the director leaves. I say, "I can't wait to see all the Pokemon here in the Paldea region. I mean, it will never takes old to capture and raise a lot of Pokemon." "How many Pokemon do you have?" Nimona asks me, and Lillie says, "You won't believe it, but Ash has every single Pokemon in the world, including legendary and mythical Pokemon." Nimona widens her mouth in shock, and asks, "How? And what?" "I can tell you along the way. Let's go," I say as the two girls are chasing after me. When we're walking on the Poco Path, Lillie and I explain everything to her, and she says, "So let me get this straight. Ash is some sort of Aura Prince to Pokemon, and he has a giant field in this pallid town of Kanto that he can accommodate every single Pokemon in his house." "That sums it up," I say, "but I don't mind having new Pokemon because I like every one of them." "If that's the case, how about you guys start by capturing that one?" Nimona asks, and we both notice some pigs walking around the area. They are Lechonks, and they usually appear in this place. "Lechonk, huh? Maybe it will be fun if I use our new Pokemon to battle, right Lillie?" I ask. "Of course." Lillie smiles as Nimona stare at the two of us. "Wait, both of you are sharing Pokemon? How is that going to work?" I say, "We did have some help from Lillie's father. I have been working with them for a short while as well." Lillie says, "Let's see what the Pokédex says about the 3 Pokemon that we received from Mr. Clavel." Sprigatito. The grass cat Pokemon. Grass type. The sweet scent its body gives off mesmerizes those around it. The scent grows stronger when this Pokemon is in the sun. Fuecoco. The fire croc Pokemon. Fire type. Fire type. Its flame sac is small, so energy is always leaking out. This energy is released from the dent atop Fuecoco's head and flickers to and fro. Quaxley. The duckling Pokemon. Water type. Its strong legs let it easily swim around in even fast-flowing rivers. It likes to keep things tidy and is prone to overthinking things. Lillie and I decide to use Quaxley and Fuecoco to battle the 2 Lechonk. There is one male and one female. Since they are just starter Pokemon, they might have struggled a little while battling the new Pokemon. I look at the Pokédex and I see that there is a move that I've never seen before. Maybe I should try it out. Quaxley, use Aqua Cutter, I yell, and Quaxley uses some sort of air cutter, only that it is made by water, and it deals a lot of damage to Lechonk. Once both Pokemon are weakened, We throw Pokeballs and eventually capture the two Lechonks. Lechonk. The hog Pokemon. Normal type. It searches for food all day. It possesses a keen sense of smell but doesn't use it for anything other than foraging. Lillie says, looks like we all get some great experiences. I know. I say. Nimona says, you are really good at this. I'm really crummy when it comes to actually catching Pokemon. Maybe you should give me tips instead. Well, it is not that hard. Sometimes it will be better if we bond the Pokemon first before capturing it. I say. Most of our Pokemon are captured without even needed to battle them. Like your Greninja or Charizard, Lillie says to me. Yeah. I laugh. Let's meet back up at the lighthouse over there. You can see our school from the top. Nimona says as we notice the lighthouse in the distance, and she just rushes off without waiting for us. Looks like it is the two of us alone again, I say. It's fine, we'll meet up at the lighthouse with her. Lillie says to me as we continue watching, although I notice that there are some balls of strings hanging around some trees and some of them seem to be moving. Hey Lillie, do you think those balls of strings are actually Pokemon? I ask. Lillie jumps a little after hearing what I said, and she says, geez. Are you trying to play pranks on me? No. I already open the Rotom Dex and say, those balls of strings are actually known as a Pokemon named Tarantula. It's a bug type. That is such a weird design of a Pokemon. Don't tell me you're going to catch it, Lillie says. I did want to catch them all after all. I say as I throw a Pokeball at the Pokemon, but suddenly, the ball of string starts to move and manages to bind the Pokeball and throws it away. Was that string shot? I ask in awe. So those are not strings but threads. That seems more reasonable. I decide to do it again, and this time, this Tarantula is captured. Tarantula. The string ball Pokemon. Bug type. The thread that it secretes from its rear is as strong as wire. The secret behind the thread's strength is the topic of ongoing research. I think let's just keep moving. Lillie says, we don't want Nimona to wait for us. You're right. I say as we walk along the road, and Nimona is already standing in the middle of the road waiting for us. What is taking you two so long? She asks with slight annoyance. I have been waiting for you. Sorry, but I think we just got a new Pokemon. I say, it's a Tarantula. That Pokemon is really common around this area, Nimona says. Just then, we hear two strange cries, and we look around as Lillie asks, what was that? I don't know. I say, but that cry sounds painful. I have never heard that kind of cry before. Could be some strong Pokemon or something, Nimona says. I say we find whatever made that cry. Let's take a look around. But just be careful, there's a kinda unsafe cave not far from here, so steer clear, and also, watch out for the cliffs. We both nod as we decide to look around. Just then, Pikachu and Snowy's cries gain our attention, and the two of them are looking down at the cliff. What is it, Pikachu? I ask, and we look in their direction and we find two Pokemon lying on the beach. What the? Lillie wants to look closer, but suddenly, one of the two Pokemon roars and the cliff below her starts to break and she is about to fall from the cliff. Lillie. I grab her hand, but gravity causes the two of us to fall. I take out a Pokeball and say, Charizard, help us. We manage to land on Charizard as we land on the beach safely, and then I realize that I was holding Lillie in a princess hug, causing her to blush a little. Lillie, are you okay? I ask. I'm fine. Lillie turns away a little as I gently put her down. Thanks, Charizard. She also pets the Pokemon, who gives a nod before trying to blast me with the familiar flamethrower. Why do you always do that? I mutter before recalling Charizard, and we rush toward the two Pokemon. One of them is orange-colored and it looks like it comes from some sort of prehistoric times, while the other one is purple and it seems to have some metallic body, making it look like it comes from the future. Those two Pokemon are weak and hungry. Maybe there's something we can feed them to make them feel better? Lillie asks. Good thing I managed to buy some sandwiches at the airport. I take out a box and feed each part to the two Pokemon. And just after we feed them, they stand back up as they roar. Thank you. Since I'm able to talk with Pokemon, I am able to hear what they're saying, and I say, you're welcome. Just then, the two Pokemon start to walk toward the cave and roar, and suddenly, they start to glow. What's going on? Lillie and I try to cover our eyes, and the two Pokemon starts to float into the air and their two legs form into claws like a dragon. They look at the two of us before walking into the cave. Should we follow them? I ask. We have to, Lillie says as we enter the cave. After entering the cave, Pikachu and Snowy are trying to get to know about the two Pokemon, and for some reason, the purple one seems to get fond of Pikachu, as they usually communicate with electricity. So I guess that the purple one is electric type. And the scarlet one. Seeing the muscles of the Pokemon, I have to guess that it's fighting type. Ash, Lillie. We can hear Nemona's voice in the cavern, and we find that the exit of the cave is actually on top of us, and Nemona is standing right there. Nemona. We yell in delight. There you are you okay? You're not hurt, right? Nemona yells. We're fine, it's not the first time something like this happened to us, I reply. Thank goodness, I was really worried if you'd gotten hurt because I said we should go looking for whatever made those cries. She shakes her head and says, no, never mind that. Right now we've got to focus on getting you back up here. But it seems like it won't be that easy to escape this cave. Lillie looks around. You've just got to find some way to climb out of there. If you can get close enough, I'll try pulling you up with one of my Pokemon's moves. Nemona yells. Okay. I say as we manage to continue inside the cave. The two giant Pokemon are helping us destroy the rocks with Breaking Swipe and Dragon Breathe, so I think they both are also dragon types. Lillie, did your Pokédex manage to identify the Pokemon yet? I ask. All it appears is a Pokemon known as Cyclizer, but no matter how I look, they don't match, Lillie replies. Cyclizer. I look at the Pokédex and find that it is a Pokemon with green body and wheels on it. I don't think they're Cyclizer. But just then, Pikachu and Snowy give a cry and we notice that we're surrounded by Houndours. Great Houndours, I mutter. And the two Pokemon that are with us use Rock Smash and Thunder Shock to destroy all of them with ease. Amazing, I say. Yeah. Lillie agrees with me. When we are about to reach the top, Nemona yells, watch out, behind you. We turn around to see that a Houndoom is trailing us as it wants to attack us. So this place must be their territory, and we accidentally trespass. What are we going to do then? Lillie asks me with concern, and the two dragon types nod at each other before attacking with Ancient Power and Shock Wave, causing a giant smoke before grabbing both of us and our Pokemon to reach Nemona. Nemona is in awe at the two Pokemon as she can only clap with shock. Way to go. For a second I thought you were all goners. Believe me, this is not the first time and maybe not the last as well, I sigh. We see that both dragons are walking toward the lighthouse, but they all faint midway. Hey, what's wrong? We rush toward the two Pokemon, and Nemona says, do you think they used up all of their powers? Anyway, what's with those two Pokemon anyway? They kinda look like Cyclizer, but we've never seen one quite like this before, not to mention it looks different from a minute ago as well. I'm not sure. What's going on here? I say. Instead of being normal types, I feel like this Scarlet one here is fighting and the Violet one is electric. Their battles are really something. Indeed. So I guess you two are not the Pokemon's trainers, huh? We shake our heads, and the two Pokemon start to get up again. Nemona says, looks like they perked up a little. Do you think they are the ones making the mysterious cry we heard before? Yeah. I say, we still don't know what their names are. Maybe we should try to capture the two of them and bring them to the Pokemon Center. If you do, I want to battle them after that, Nemona says. Sure. I nod as we try to throw Pokeballs, but they all bounce off, much to our surprise. Wait, they already have trainers? I ask, and the two Pokemon are walking towards the lighthouse as we can only follow them. We follow the two dragon Pokemon as we finally arrive at the lighthouse, and there is a boy standing in front of there. He is wearing a shirt with a blue vest, and he has a purple tie. He has a giant green backpack that I know well. Brock and Salon usually carry those because they're for cooking. Why, that little. When he noticed the two dragons, he yells in anger, what are you two doing out here? Are you okay? Lillie asks, but he shoves her off. I'm not talking to you three, so back off, he says. Hey. I step forward and say, no need to be so rude toward us. Nemona says, wait, I know you. Aren't you Arvin? You're enrolled in the Department of Food and Beverage Management of our university. Not to mention you're the son of both Pokemon researchers, Professor Sada and Professor Turo? Sada and Turo. I don't think I have heard of those two from Professor Oak before, and Lillie seems to be sharing the same confusion with me. Doesn't matter who my mom or my dad is. Arvin yells at us. The real issue here is what in the world these Pokemon are doing out here, and what is with this form they're in. We found them at the bottom of the cliff. They save us from a pack of wild houndours. I say, still wary about the boy in front of him. See, we heard the strange cry, and we tried to investigate, but Lillie and Ash fell off the cliff. The Pokemon saved him, but it seems like they wore themselves out in the process. They got kinda slumpy afterward, Nimona says. Lillie asks, haven't you seen them before? They look totally different, and they are unbelievably strong. Well yeah. As they should be. But they can't fight while they're like this. Arvin starts to talk calmly as he turns to the two Pokemon. The form that both Koraidon and Miraidon take in battle. That's their true form. Koraidon and Miraidon. So they are the Pokemon's names? How do you know them? I ask. The two Pokemon are walking towards a door beside the lighthouse, but Arvin says, you can't go in. It's locked. Then he turns to both Lillie and me. I don't remember ever seeing you around. Are you perhaps going to the same university as me? Well yeah, I'm Ash and this is Lillie. I say. And they are our Pokemon Pikachu and Snowy. Arvin nods and says, Koraidon and Miraidon aren't the sort of Pokemon that any old trainer can hope to command. They're special. Can you explain it more? Lillie asks. I mean, both of them seem to trust us a lot. Arvin notices how the two Pokemon walk toward us and stand by our side. Then he says, so you think you're up to ordering Koraidon around? Then how about I test your worthiness? Lillie says, sure, I'll battle you. Good, I've been feeling all out of sorts, so I'm gonna use this battle to blast these doldrums away. He throws a Pokeball and sends out Squavit. Lillie of course sends out Snowy to battle. These memories are leaving a bad taste in my mouth, and I want it gone. Let's start off with Tail Whip. Arvin yells as Squavit whips the tail to lower Snowy's defense stats. Snowy. Let's set up the hail. Snowy roars as it starts to snow. We're shaking a little since the temperature drops suddenly. Bite. Arvin yells as Squavit charges at Snowy as it prepares to bite, but Lillie commands, Aurora Veil. The veil is protecting Snowy from the bite, and then Lillie says, Draining Kiss. Arvin widens his eyes as Snowy uses the fairy move to drain the Pokemon's energy, and then Snowy finally beats it with a super strong ice beam. He holds his head and mutters, seems you know a thing or two about the battle. Excuse me? I have been a trainer for 2 years. I even challenge the league in Alola region and even get in the top 16. Lillie says. Not to mention Ash is the world monarch, who is capable of defeating all the champions outside of Paldea. So you're the world monarch? Here to attend the same school as us? Arvin asks. Yeah. But that was an awesome battle. I say. I guess I wasn't ever going to stand a chance using some Pokemon I'd only just caught. Arvin says after learning about the two of us. But if you really think you can take Koraidon and Miraidon off my hands for me, you'll need these. Much to our surprise, they are the Pokeballs for Koraidon and Miraidon, and both Lillie and I take them off his hands. So why do you have them? Nimona asks. Just some stupid farewell gifts from my parents who never come back to me. Anyway, those are your problems now, not mine. Good luck. Arvin then rushes away, and Nimona yells, What? Oye! Can you not hear me or something? Fine. Be that way. But you better actually show up for school. I notice that Lillie is frowning, and I ask, something matters, Lillie? I don't know why. But I think that Arvin person was like me before I met you, Ash. My father disappeared and my mother seldom returned home because of her work. So that's the reason why you want to battle him? I ask again, because you think the two of you are similar? Yeah. Lillie says. The two dragons come to us, and we decide to put them back into our Pokeballs. That Arvin guy definitely knows more than he's letting on. Next time, he and I are battling, I'm gonna wring some answers out of him. But oh, right. We gotta climb the lighthouse. Can't wait to show you the view of our school. Sure, let's go. I say. When we get to the top of the lighthouse, we are in awe at the sight of a giant city in front of us. Look over there. That's Mesagoza. And that huge building with the Pokeball on it is our school. It looks so tall. Lillie says in awe, and Snowy also yelps in agreement. By the way, it's gonna be so great having you in the same department, Ash, Lillie, Nimona says. So you're also in the department of Pokemon battling. You know what, never mind. I almost forgot you're a champion in Paldea, I say. I'm not the only champion here in Paldea, you know, Nimona says. But that can be explained later. But being in this department means that we can do a lot of Pokemon battlings. Of course, there are also classes that teach Pokemon and also other things. I say as Pikachu finally jumps onto the fence. Look Pikachu, isn't it awesome what you can see from up here? Pikachu squeals in agreement, and Lillie says, there are mountains, forests, grasslands, and beautiful nature. Though it is very different from Alola. And you know what's waiting for you all over these natural spaces? Tons of Pokemon. Consider this me officially telling you. Welcome to Paldea, Nimona smiles. Thanks, I say. Now that the happy stuff is over, the school is pretty far away from here. You're right, it would take a hike. Let's make it to Los Platos for starters. That's right on the way. Vamos, come on, Nimona says. When we get to Los Platos, we are surprised to see what the Pokemon Center here looks like. This here is a Pokemon Center, since you've been around 8 regions, so I guess it is all the same to you, right? Except that it doesn't look very outdoor looking in the other regions. This is very odd because there are no interiors, I say. When I decide to buy some Pokeballs and potions, he says, hello. We accept payment both in cash and in LP, which stands for League Points. 1 LP is worth $1. League Points? I was confused, and Nimona says, oh, I see that this is not very common outside of Paldea, let me show you. She takes out the Rotom phone and shows the currency. The League Points can be stored in your cell phone, I'll share some for you. Then she gives us each 5,000 LP, much to our surprise. As for Lillie, she is looking at a robot in front of her. What is that? Oh, that's the TM machine. It can make TMs for you, which you can use to teach moves to your Pokemon. Though you need League Points and materials of Pokemon if you want to create them. Nimona says. How about I show you? We nod as we see how Nimona makes TMs. I have 5 Shinx Fangs. Sometimes Luxray drops them to the ground and I just pick them up. And then I have 3 Dynamo Slime, which I got from the body of Electros. And Pikachu, do you mind giving me 3 of your fur? Pikachu nods as he tries to shake his body, and much to Nimona's delight, 3 furs manage to drop to the ground. Thank you, Pikachu. Then he places 3 Pichu furs into the machine, and then I just need to pay 10,000 LP. 10,000 LP. That sure is a lot. And once she puts the League Points inside, we see that the machine starts to work, and eventually, a disc comes out of the spot. Here, this is a TM for Wild Charge. This is for you. You've already given us 10,000 LP and you also spend 10,000 LP for a TM to give us? Lillie asks, you're so kind. I love Pokemon battling and I have a lot of ways to gain LP, Nimona says. I hold the disc and say, but to think that's how TMs are made. I see a lot of them back in the other regions, but never once did I get to know how it works. All I know is that after learning it just breaks. Some in Unova, Kalos, Alola, and Galar won't break as well, Lillie says. Okay, now that we're done here, I'll buy some ice creams for you. There's a vendor of sugar and ice here in this place, Nimona says as she leaves. As for Lillie and I, we are going to contact my mom. Once my mom is on the screen, she says, Ash, Lillie, you guys finally arrive at the Paldea region? Yes, Mom. Paldea region is so cool, though we haven't got to the school yet. I say. We did talk to the director and he's pretty nice. I see. Delia says. Professor Oak is also here, since he's doing a survey with the Pokemon that you owned. I just hope that they're not going to give him trouble. I sigh. But that reminds me, Mom. Can you help me bring Arceus here? Because I want to ask him something. Of course. I'll give the Pokeball of Arceus to you. Delia then rushes off as we take our Pokemon Box Link. It is a special tool that helps us transfer Pokemon from my home to my side. And once the Cherish Ball containing Arceus appears, I say to the phone, thanks, Mom. No problem, and Lillie, Ash might be rash sometimes and help me take care of him. You got it. Lillie chuckles and I pout. Mom. I'm already a freshman in a famous university. But you're still a baby to me. Delia chuckles. All right. I think I need to feed your Pokemon dinner, so I'll see you later. Bye, Mom. I say as we decide to end the phone call. While Lillie is taking care of Nimona, who seems to be waiting in line for the ice cream, I quickly rush to a place with a few trainers and take out Arceus. Why hello there, chosen one. What can I help you with? He asks. Arceus, I want to ask about these two Pokemon. I send out Koraidon and Miraidon. The two of them are surprised to see Arceus himself as they kneel. Arceus says, this is the first day you head to Paldea region and you managed to get both Cyclizer from the ancient past and the far future? That sure is interesting. More like I found them on the way here. But they seem to be very weak and unable to battle. Do you know what's going on with them? Arceus looks at them and says, it seems like both of them are in their limited build. Of course, they can't battle in this state. Although ancient and future Pokemon are coming here from the past and future. I wonder what is up with this region. Are you telling me that time must have been messed up in this region? I ask. I am not sure. I will need Dialga to look into this, though Paldea region seems like a nice place. I hope you don't mind if I come with you, right? Not at all. I sweat drop at the god of Pokemon, but it will be unwise to let you be seen by others. I understand. Arceus says as he glows a little, now only you and Lillie will be able to see me while the others won't. I see. Then we all head back to Lillie and the others, and Nimona finally gets our ice cream. Here, these two are the popular ones in the Paldea region. The Knackley salt ice cream and teriyaki ice cream. Those sure are some weird flavors. Lillie sweat drops and we try it, but instead of sweetness, all we can feel is salty. What the? I ask. It's salty. Of course it is, but despite the saltiness, they taste good as well. Nimona says. Anyway, all of the food here give out special effects. Like this Knackley Salt one, it boosts the Ice-type Humongo power, meaning that bigger Ice-type Pokemon will appear often around you, Grass-type item drop power, and Dark-type catching power. While the teriyaki ice cream boosts the Bug-type item drop power, Fighting-type raid power, and egg-hatching power. Seriously? I never knew there is such an effect, Lillie says. Anyway, let's continue moving. Nimona says. All that's left to go to Mesagoza is to climb this hill. Yeah, let's go. I say. After reaching the top of the hill, we also meet some Pokemon on the way. As much as we want to capture new Pokemon, Lillie wants us to go to school and settle our things first. Well, I can't blame her since she did have a lot of things in her luggage. There is also a Pokemon Center in front of the gate to the city, and Nimona says, before we get inside, how about we have a battle right here? I think I have something that I need to show you. A battle now? Lillie mutters, then she sends out a Pokemon that looks like a Pikachu but slightly different. This is Pawmot. You have seen some Pawmi on the way, but it is an electric and fighting type, Nimona says. Electric and fighting. I don't think I've faced this kind of type combination before. I say, well, I'll use Charizard this time. After sending out the Pokemon, we are both ready to battle. Battling you is a blast. I think I better pull out my ace in the hole. Just then, she takes out some sort of orb and aiming at Pawmot. The orb is shaking and glowing, before Nimona throws it on top of Pawmot, creating a giant electric bulb on top of the Pokemon's head. And Pawmot also starts to shine like a diamond. What the? What is going on here? Lillie asks in shock. This is what we know as Terrastal. I assume that you already know something about Mega Stones or Z-Rings, but this is what we use in Paldea. Nimona says. And now I'm going to show you why. Use Double Shock. Double what? I ask in confusion as Charizard is hit by the attack. Charizard, are you alright? Charizard nods at me, and Lillie says, no way. That does a lot of damage. I say, you say that it is electric and fighting, huh? Then I'll just use Air Slash. Charizard tries to attack the Pawmot, but it doesn't seem to be very effective on Pawmot. What the? It's not very effective. My terastallized Pawmot is now pure electric type, and that means that electric type moves do more damage than normal, Nimona says. So it drops the fighting type. If that's the case, I'll just use Earthquake, I yell. Charizard starts to shake the ground, and Pawmot uses Quick Attack to dodge the breaking ground and goes for an Ice Punch, but Charizard lands a Flamethrower and eventually defeats it. But when Palmot faints, I see that the diamond-like armor breaks into pieces and Palmot is returning to normal. Nimona says, "Look at you, taking on a terrestrialized opponent and winning no problem." "So how are we going to terrestrialize our Pokemon?" I ask, wanting to know this gimmick so much. "You need this, a terrestrial orb," Nimona says while showing us the thing. However, mine's energy is already empty, meaning I can't terrestrialize my Pokemon until I charge it up. Fortunately, there are a lot of terrestrialized crystals around the area that you can charge them up. Sometimes you'll be able to find a wild terrestrialized Pokemon in it as well. "So that's what it means when we're going on a raid battle eventually," Lillie mutters. Arceus says to me, "This seems kinda interesting, don't you think?" "You don't know about this either?" I ask. "Just because I am a god doesn't mean I know everything," Arceus replies back. "Yeah." I sigh. Now, Masagos is waiting just past this gate, at least, the city where our school is. Nimona turns to the giant gate, and says, "There's a ton of hills and stairs and stuff in the city, so I'm gonna take a quick breather and then catch up with you soon." "Okay." I sigh. "Lillie, let's go." When we rush past the door, we are in awe to see a lot of restaurants, clothes stores, and everything in the city. It looks just like Lumiose City or Hau'oli City. This place has been a big trade hub since a long time ago. Lots of folks come here to learn about advances in technology and all kinds of other stuff. There's a hair salon where you can change your look, plus places with tasty food and fixings. "That's amazing." I say it out loud, and I notice that some of the people are staring at us. "Hey, isn't that the world monarch? Nimona is here with him as well. What are they doing here?" I start to get nervous as I am being recognized by a lot of people. Lillie says, "Looks like you have been pretty famous around here as well." "I just hope it doesn't give us a lot of trouble," I mutter. Nimona says, "You guys just rest up and look around for a bit. I'll go to school first so I can get 2 Terra orbs for you two to terrestrialize. Let's meet up in front of the school." Once Nimona leaves, the two of us decide to walk around the city. The city is really big, and we have been trying to lay low around the city, but it has been hard since a lot of people recognize us and want to ask us some questions. Some people even want to battle me, and Lillie has to drag me out of the mess. "Geez. Being this famous sure gives me a lot of trouble," I mutter. "Because you're the world monarch after all." Lillie chuckles at me once we are sitting at the restaurant and eating sandwiches for lunch. "Leon was supposed to be the number 1 for years until you finally beat him." "I know. And I still can't believe it was just a month ago," I say. After eating, we arrive at the school gate only to find a gray and brown-haired girl with an Eevee backpack being cornered by 2 people who are wearing helmets with stars on them. "Don't you get it? If you join Team Star, you can shine as bright as anybody?" The girl seems to be staring at them with a frown, and the other person asks, "Seriously, what's with you? Don't you want to burn bright with awesome friends like us?" "Not really." The girl mutters. "Look, we've got a quota we're supposed to fill for new members, so just sign up already." I'd rather not." I decide to step in and say, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" "Here we go again," Lillie mutters as we step in front of the girl. "Huh? You want in on this, too? If you're here to sign up, we'll get you next. We've nearly got this one in the bag." "She clearly doesn't want to join you. Who are you anyway?" I demand. "We're Team Star. We burn too bright to even look at it directly, but you knew that, right?" "Oh, great. Don't tell me that it is just like those Team Skull," Lillie mutters, and I just glare at them. Every single time, there is some sort of evil organization in the region. Another ignorant little nobody," the first grunt mutters. "Here I'm finally part of Team Star, and still I get no respect. I gotta work my way up the ranks." "Hey, we can't just let something like this slide. The honor of our team's on the line, so we've got no real choice but to battle, yeah?" "That's true. You keep watch on that little 4 eyes over there. I'll make sure this fresh-faced nobody ends up seeing stars." Then the grunt sends out a Pokemon that I've never seen before. It looks like a black mouse, and I use Pikachu to battle. "Shroodle. Use acid spray," she yells. "So this Shroodle is a poison type, huh?" I yell. "Pikachu, Thunderbolt." Pikachu fires the attack and eventually defeats the low-level Shroodle. Seeing how her Pokemon is defeated easily, the girl yells, "How come I'm the one seeing stars?" Why is a nobody like you so good at battling anyway? That's just not right. Nobody like me? I mutter in shock. He manages to beat you? Does that mean I gotta battle this kid now since I'm higher up Team Star's ranks? Before we can continue, Nimona arrives and she says, Puro bueno. What do you think you're doing? It's that student council dweeb. She's gonna report us if we don't book it. I can't believe you, Ash. You don't have to go find randos to battle. You'll have all the battles you'll ever need with me, Nimona says with slight jealousy. You got it wrong. Nimona. They're Team Star members, I reply. Team Star, huh? Nimona turns to the grunts. I bet you were trying to pressure people into signing up again, weren't you? Hi. We weren't. Not doing that. Well, that explains it. As head of the student council, stopping this type of nonsense would normally be my job. But this is also the perfect chance for you to try my amazing and ultra-rare gift to you. She gives me the Terra Orb and I'm delighted. She also gives one to Lillie. The grunt is scared and he asks, wait, what? You want this kid to practice wailing on us with his Terra Pokemon, is that it? Got a problem? You want to battle me instead? Geez. Nimona can be scary sometimes. Never mind. I'll take my chances with the new kid, Nimona says. Then the grunt sends out Yungoos, and I decided to try out with Pikachu. Let's go, Terrastalize. The orb is shaking in my hand as I have a hard time holding on, but I throw it on Pikachu and much to my surprise, it has a snowflake on top of it. That's the ice type. Pikachu's Terra type is ice? Nimona gasps. If that's the case, use Icicle Crash, I yell, and everyone looks at me like I'm crazy, but Pikachu manages to use the move and defeat the Yungoos with just one move. Your Pokemon burned so brightly, the grunt mutters. Nimona says, nice try using the Terrastall Pokemon in one go. Sometimes a Pokemon's Terra type is different from its usual type. That difference can open up your strategic options. Well. I'll be on my merry way, then, yeah? Hasta la vista. The two grunts run away and Lillie asks, so what's the deal with those people? Team Star is basically a group of university students that like to kick up trouble, Nimona says. They hardly ever show up to class, and when they get together in groups, they're a real headache. Even the teachers don't know what to do with them from what I hear. Excuse me. The girl that we're trying to save is talking to us. Well, thanks. So, yeah. See you around. After she leaves, Lillie asks, what's with that girl? I don't think I've seen that girl around. Maybe she's a new transfer like you too. Though I really like that EV bag. Anyway, seems like the troubles died down, so we'd better book it up to school. Get ready to climb the worst staircase in the world. That sure looks worse, I say after seeing how giant the staircase is. When we get to the top of the stairs, we finally get to the university building. At the entrance hall, we can see a lot of books around the area. Lillie seems to be excited as she looks around. Nimona says, here we are, Ash and Lillie. Welcome to Neryuva University. This here is the entrance hall. You can sign up for all kinds of classes at the desk behind me, and those halls off to the sides lead to different parts of the school. It's totally big enough to let loose and battle in here, but for some reason, they banned Pokemon battling in the main entrance. Maybe they don't want to destroy the books around here? Lillie asks. Just then, Clavel arrives and he says, Master Ash, Miss Lillie, and Miss Nimona. How did you find your first school commute? It sure is a blast. I say, this place looks amazing. I have to guess that Miss Nimona must have given you quite an adventure. Not that I was expecting any less from our champion-ranked student council president. Well, I know how to look after my friends, right, Ash, Lillie. But speaking of which, we saw some of those Team Star kids in town, Director, Nimona says. You did? Where? The director seems shocked to hear about this. It was down the stairs from the front gates. They were hassling this kid with an EV backpack, I say. That's quite the news. Are they still to be found out there? He asks. Actually, Ash flexed on them and ran them off, Nimona says. You don't say. Of course, it's a fine thing to try to help a fellow student, Master Ash. But you might wish to show a bit of restraint as you find your feet here at our academy. I lower my head and says, I'm sorry, I'll be careful next time. And, Miss Nimona, do remember that the school staff is here to resolve any such troubles. Clavel says to her. Rig, yes sir, director. Nimona flinches a little. A child with an EV backpack, you say? I suppose that might have been Miss Penny. Clavel adjusts his glasses. I'm relieved to hear she's come to class, at least. And Miss Nimona? If you'd be so good, do report to Mr. Jack about this Team Star business. As your homeroom teacher, he should be kept apprised of all such goings-on. You got it, sir. Nimona says. But look at the time. You two had better hurry along, class will be starting soon. Starting soon? So we still have class this afternoon? Lillie asks. Yeah, we have the Pokemon biology class at 3 p.m. That's Professor Jack's class. Nimona says. And we can show you the classmates there. Lillie and I smile as we all head to the classroom, and Nimona decides to inform Professor Jack first before letting us enter. Good morning, Mr. Jack. I can hear the students in the classroom calling to him. Hello, everyone. We have some exciting news this afternoon. Who wants to hear it? Jack asks. After hearing some noises, I hear the teacher says, I suppose I should have told you sooner, but we have 2 new little friends joining our happy homeroom as of today. All right, you two can come on in. Lillie and I walk into the homeroom, and a lot of students recognize us and I can hear some voices. That's the World Monarch. No way. He's our new classmate? We have a World Monarch in our class. And that girl is the daughter of the president of the Ether Foundation. You mean the biggest charity organization that helps poor Pokemon? All right. Jack quiets them and says, could I trouble you two for a few words introducing yourselves? I decide to start and say, hello everyone, my name is Ash Ketchum, and this is my partner Pikachu. I'm sure that some of you might have recognized me, but I hope that we can become friends and battle each other to the fullest. Lillie says, and my name is Lillie Ether, and this is my partner Snowy, she's an Alolan Vulpix. I really like Pokemon and like Ash. I hope to become friends with you and study together. Looks like everyone's eager to get to know the two of you, Ash and Lillie. Jack says. All right, then. Who wants to be the first to ask our new friends a question? A student raises his hand and asks, can I ask Lillie a question? What's your favorite thing about Pokemon? Lillie say, I think all of the Pokemon are cool, it is really fun to get to know all of them and learn more about them. The next one to ask is Nimona. Of course, she asks, you went to all the trouble of enrolling here, so spill, Ash. What do you hope to get out of it? You must have some kind of dream, right? It's obvious. I have been traveling for all these years, and my dream is the same. I want to become a Pokemon master, I say. You will be. We're going to get so strong by battling and learning together, Nimona smiles. Well, thank you for telling us a bit about yourself, Ash and Lillie. I'm Mr. Jack. I teach Pokemon biology here at the academy, and I'm also your homeroom teacher. Lillie, your seat is next to Nimona in the first row, while Ash, you'll be sitting with Drandon in the second row. We nod as we take a seat, and my classmate, Drandon, says, Ash, right? It's nice to know you. Same here. I say. All right, you ragamuffins. Be nice and friendly to our new classmates, Jack says as we finally start the class. 2 hours later, we finally finish the class and Drandon decides to introduce all of the classmates here in the class. Everyone here is very nice and some of them want my advice on how to become as strong as me, and Lillie, she is also getting along with her friends around the area. Hey Ash, Lillie. Do you know that after a week, the school is going to start the treasure hunt? Drandon asks. The treasure hunt, Lillie asks. Yeah, it is a project that wants us to find our treasure in the school. Drandon says, my treasure is to become the best flying and dragon-type trainer in the world. That's amazing. I say, I'm sure you'll be able to do it. Thanks. Drandon says. Since it is almost dinner, do you want to join us at the cafeteria? Sure. Let's have some food to eat. I say. Drandon's friends are also excited to meet. There is Raisa, who comes from the Hoenn region and wants to become a top coordinator, and there is also Luke, whose dream is to learn more about the terrestrialized phenomenon. I turn to Lillie and ask, how do you think of this school? It is really amazing. Lillie says, it is very different from the Alola one. Yeah, more students and more advanced classes. I chuckle. The teaching board is digitalized as well. So the two of you go to the same school in the Alola region? Luke asks. How is it there? It is very great. The school is close to the sea and it really gives us some calming feelings, I say. Wow. That sounds amazing. I really want to check out the region, Raychiu says. Once we arrive at the cafeteria, we meet Arvin there. Arvin notices us and smiles, so we meet again, Ash and Lillie, right? Nice to see you again, Arvin. Lillie says. You two have been very popular around the school. The world monarch and the daughter of the Ether Foundation, Arvin says. Yeah. I guess. I smile. After introducing Drandon, Raychiu, and Luke to him, he decides to sit with us as we chat. I normally wouldn't even bother showing up for class, but I came all the way to school today just to talk to you two. Our new celebrities. Can you two help me so I can make my dream a reality? What's your dream? I ask. Can you tell us about it? Well, this might come as a surprise, but the fact is, I'm all about that picnic life. The great outdoors, the perfectly prepared sandwiches, all of it. Not half bad at cooking either, I can tell you. Right now I'm researching new recipes that'll help Pokemon feel better. Real health food, see. He shows a book with Scarlet and Violet covers. I found this book the other day, and it had a section about these Herba Mystica things. Herba Mystica? Drandon asks. Basically, they're some kind of special herbs that heal up any Pokemon as soon as it eats them, Arvin says. Now, there are a total of 5 different types of Herba Mystica, based on what I read. Just taking a little lick of them once they've been powdered will get your blood flowing, provide nutrients, and prevent aging. It'll even boost the immune system. These herbs seem like they're the real deal. Only found here in Paldea, and rare to boot. Wow. I say. But this book says that they're all guarded by Titan Pokemon, meaning that it's gonna be pretty tough to try to grab even a few sprigs. 'Cause, see, Titans are. Well, I think there gotta be. Things like this. When we see the Titan Pokemon, I gasp and says, hey, Lillie, isn't that just like? I know. We have similar things in the Alola region, they're called the totem Pokemon there. So I guess that this region has something similar to this, Lillie says. But what is that? Monsters of Raychiu? Are those mysterious Pokemon? Luke asks. It doesn't seem to tell us more about them, but that picture, it looks just like a Donphan, right? Drandon says. You're right. But I don't think Donphan has those spikes, because I have one after all, I say. Arvin closes the book and says, I really want to get those herbs for myself, but I'm not very good at Pokemon battles. I also don't have any friends with strong Pokemon to lend me a hand, either. And I'd never hear the end of it if I went crawling to that student council girl. So you want me to help you because I'm this world monarch kind of thing, right? I did have some experience in handling totem Pokemon, so I have to guess that this is going to be very fun, I say. You're right, it will be fun to see what they look like, Raychiu says. Then I'll register the places where it seems there might be Titans in your map app for you. After giving us the information, I see that there are 5 Titans and each of them is a different type. There is the Stony Cliff Titan which is rock type, Lurking Steel Titan which is a steel type, Open Sky Titan which is a flying type, Quaking Earth Titan which is ground type, and False Dragon Titan which is dragon type. There are some pictures, but they all look blurry as I don't know what those are. Let it stew a bit, and we can get more into the details later, and in the meantime, you can have these. He gives us 5 bags of Stardust, 1 for each, and he decides to leave after finish eating. Give the idea some serious thought, please. Sure. Then the 5 of us decide to talk about those Titan Pokemon and thinking what they are like. After dinner is over, I find my phone ringing. It is saying that the name is anonymous, so I decided to answer the call. Hello? Who is this? This is Ash, correct? And I assume that Lillie is also here? The voice says. Wait. Who are you and how did you even get my phone number? I ask. I hacked your smartphone so I could talk to you. Hope you don't mind, the voice says. A hacker? That's dangerous. Drandon gasps. Why would a hacker want to find you? That sounds fishy, Raychiu says. I bet they are those who want to take your money, Luke says. Calm down, guys. So what do you want with us? Lillie asks. My name is Cassiopeia. But never mind that, and if you have friends with you then they better listen to this as well. I hear that you're trainers with serious potential. If that description is accurate, there's something I'd like to ask of you. What is it? I ask. Tell me, Ash and Lillie. You know about Team Star, right? Cassiopeia asks. We know. I say. Weren't they the guys who've been causing trouble to the school? We did encounter 2 of them trying to harass a girl. Team Star is a group of troublemakers formed by some academy students a while back. They cause headaches for the school and try to bring other students down to their level. And I refuse to sit idly by and let them get away with it, so I've come up with a plan to bring down Team Star and force them to disband for good. What? All 5 of us exclaim in surprise. I call it Operation Starfall, but I'll need allies to carry out this operation. And I'd like you to be one of them. We all look at each other, and I say, so what do we need to do? We'll discuss the details some other time. Until then, I'll leave you to it. Then the anonymous person just ends the call, and then we hear a voice. Ah, Master Ash. We flinch as the director is now standing in front of us. Director? Drandon gulps and the others are doing the same thing. Please do try to keep your voice down if you're making calls within the school, won't you? Clavel asks. Of course, sir. I reply. After all, you don't want anyone else overhearing any personal information. Honestly. There are so many things we need to be careful about in this day and age. On you go, then, young man. We all bow at the director before leaving, and then Clavel mutters, Team Star, you say. After leaving the dining hall, Raychiu asks, do you think the director heard all of it? I mean the Team Star thing? Maybe he did. Lillie says. By the way, we should find Nimona in the staff room so we can get our dorm keys and number. You're right. Let's go find her. I say as the 5 of us walk into the staff room, and we see Nimona talking to a woman with a black outfit. Very well, Champion Nimona. I trust you to handle this in my stead, the woman says. Sure thing. You can count on me. In fact, I bet this is gonna be fun, Nimona replies. I'm glad to hear it. Good day, then. As the woman leaves, she notices us and says, oh, pardon me. She thinks that she knows me, maybe because I'm the world monarch, but after she leaves, Nimona rushes to us and says, oh, Ash and Lillie. Hey. I see that Drandon, Raychiu, and Luke are here as well. Drandon asks, wasn't that La Primera? I heard she's so strong that she can do pretty much anything. Yeah, she has been a role model for all of the Pokemon trainers here in the Paldea region, Raychiu says. Oh, that reminds me, Nimona says. Ash, I don't know about you, but I'm sure you'll be interested in this. How about getting into a champion rank like me? Champion rank? I ask. That sounds cool, oh wow. Hang on, though, I've got a whole spiel I want to give you. Here goes. The trainers who reach champion rank are the ones who raise their Pokemon really strong. They're pro-tier battlers. Their moves keep crowds absolutely on the edge of their seats. I know you already did the thing in the other regions, but you have to prove yourself to the Pokemon League here to officially get the title of champion. And to do that, you have to do more than just take classes here. Let me guess. Challenging 8 gyms and collecting gym badges? I ask, since I have been doing this for 8 years. But this is where things are different from the other regions. Once you've done that, all that's left is a special test, the champion assessment. And once you pass that, then at long last you'll be the champion. It's every Pokemon trainer's dream. The coolest title anyone could ever hope to get, not to brag or anything. Luke says, by the way, Ash, you are not only the world monarch, but you're also the Alola champion, right? Yeah. Though Alola doesn't have any gyms. I say. So how long have you been a champion? I reached champion rank not long after the beginning of this school year. Nimona says. You can do treasure hunts outside of class whatever you want. It's fun. You get to leave school to go have an adventure and learn however you want. So that is your treasure, right? Drandon asks. I guess maybe. Nimona asks while seemingly a little hesitating. I dunno yet if that's the answer I'm looking for. Anyway, I've got a feeling I'd be able to get even stronger if you and I were both working at it. Let me go ahead and save the gym's locations in your map app in case you decide to go for it. Lillie and I are surprised since we get to learn all about gym leaders and their typings just today. And we can see faces of the gym leaders, the cities, and the typings. There's Medali Gym that's normal, Kaskarov a gym that's water, Cortondo gym that's bug, Alfornat a gym that's psychic, Montenevere a gym that's ghost, Glaciato gym that's ice, Levincia gym that's electric, and Artazan gym that's grass. Now give it some thought, Nimona says with a smile before leaving. Hey wait. What about our dorms? Before I can ask her, she's already gone, and we also hear the school broadcasting. Calling Master Ash and Miss Lillie to the director's office, please. Just then, everyone seems to be staring at us. Drandon asks, do you think it is because of Team Star? I just hope it's not, I say as we head to the office. Drandon, Raisa, and Luke decide to wait outside. Thank you for coming, Master Ash and Miss Lillie, Clavel says while we sit on the chairs. Have you been enjoying your time here at Neryuva University? It's perfect. We did have some new friends and Professor Jack is nice, I say. I see. Do remember I'm always here to lend an ear should you find yourself struggling in any way, Clavel says while standing up. Now, you may be wondering why we could not have simply conversed earlier in the cafeteria. But let me assure you, there is a reason why I asked you two to meet me here in my office. He walks towards the TV and says, it seems that two friends of mine have a rather serious matter they would like to discuss with you. We are confused. We look around, Lillie says, but there's no one here. Ah, no, I'm afraid they aren't actually here in this room with us. One moment, please. Just allow me to connect us. He turns on the screen, and we see that two people, a man and a woman, are on the screen. Hello, Ash and Lillie. It's nice to meet you. The woman waves her hand to us. My name is Professor Turo, and this is my wife Professor Sada. The two of us carry out Pokemon research within the Great Crater of Paldea, at a site known as Era Zero, Turo says. And just then, they show us a picture of the giant crater behind the school building. Clavel says, both professors are, in fact, graduates of our fine university, as well as splendid researchers. And allow us to get straight to the point, Sada says. Ash Ketchum, student ID number 805C393, Lillie Ether, student ID number 805C394. Both of you are the students with the unusual Pokemon Koraidon and Miraidon, correct? We are. Lillie says. Good, I appreciate that you were honest with confirming the facts, Turo says. And we do not mean to offend you. In fact, we wish to ask for your assistance, Sada says. Assistance? I ask, and just then, two of our Pokeballs open on their own and both Koraidon and Miraidon appear. Oh. How good to see that you are well. It has been quite a while since we last met, Turo says as both Pokemon nods. Koraidon was once in my care, and Miraidon was once in Turo's care, you see, Sada says. Their Pokeballs were originally ours. I assume you received them from a young man called Arvin. We are no longer in any position to be able to manage those Pokemon ourselves, Turo says. Why? Lillie asks. Was there any problem? Let's say that it's complicated, so this is what we would ask of you. Will you continue looking after Koraidon and Miraidon on our behalf? Sada asks. Of course. We say in unison. We do appreciate your agreement, Turo says. Koraidon and Miraidon have been greatly weakened and are currently incapable of battle. They can, however, take on a form specialized for mobility. In all likelihood, it will require some time to fully regain the capabilities they once had. We will provide you with our contact information. If you would please get out your phones? Sada asks. The two of us take out the phones and let the Rotom do the work. We will be in regular contact going forward to keep tabs on your status, Turo says, until then. After the call ends, Clavel stares at the two Pokemon and asks, could these Pokemon have their origins within Area Zero? We stare at the director and he mutters, Sada. Turo. Don't tell me you actually did it. Did what? I ask, but Clavel says, it is not something you should be worrying about. It seems that the professors are asking quite the favor of you too. But of course, the Academy is always here to support you in any way that we are able. I do hope you'll continue to enjoy your school life, together with both Koraidon and Miraidon. We will. We say in unison, and it is at the same time Nimona walks in. Oh, you're still here, Ash and Lillie. Getting called into the director's office. How'd you land in that much trouble already? More like getting some requests. Lillie mutters. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I know you're not like that. Nimona says, I almost forgot to give you the dorm keys. I can also show you where the dorms are. Finally, I say. And you two are lucky to have private school rooms. Nimona says. We have a 4-student room, a 2-student room, and the rooms you're staying in. Private student room. We are shocked as we meet up with the rest of our friends and head to the dorms, and much to our shock, there are 6 rooms on the floor wherein in my room is the opposite of Lillie's. Besides my dorm is Drandon and further west is Luke. While beside Lillie's room is Nimona and further west is Raychiu. When we look into the room, I was surprised to see how big the room is. Not only did I have a study and a private bathroom, but I also have a kitchen as well. All the dorms look the same when we moved in, so I guess that it will be fine for you too, Raychiu says. This is awesome. Lillie says, I mean, it is so big. Indeed. Now I can finally take a rest. I put down the backpack and I lie on the bed, with Pikachu doing the same thing. Well, we'll leave you to rest. Tomorrow we can learn a lot more. Nimona smiles as we all bid farewell to each other. Once they're gone, I take out the Pokeball and send out Arceus again. Arceus says, so this is your dorm room, that's quite nice. Well, Arceus, I want to talk about Miraidon and Koraidon, I say. Ah, you mean the 2 Cyclizer from the past and future. Arceus says, maybe I should call them what you humans call. I walk towards the window and says, the professors here say that they come from Area 0, a place that is inside of the crater in front of us. I wonder what's inside the crater. This sure is mysterious. But now you're having a school life, you should take some rest so you can continue. Yeah. I smile. It has been 5 days since I started school. I have been learning a lot with my friends and of course, Lillie. I have to say that all of them are very interesting, and they really help a lot. Start off with the biology teacher, our homeroom teacher Professor Jack. He has been teaching us a lot about Pokemon. It is thanks to him that I managed to learn more about Pokemon. The first class is about walking together with Pokemon, and it is something that I've been doing a lot since I have Pikachu as a partner. Although he is very well versed in his field, he is somewhat airheaded and is sometimes lost in his own research. I can see some of my classmates getting confused about what he's talking about. The next teacher is our math teacher, Professor Time. At first, I was wondering why would we have to learn math as a part of a required course, but the class I'm attending is about type matchups. Professor Time might have been strict in class, but she is really nice after class, and I also learned that she used to be a rock-type gym leader until she passed down the gym to her sister, who is the ghost-type gym leader in Montenevera. I didn't ask more about her, but I know that she's famous for rap and hip-hop music. And then the history teacher, Professor Rayford. In this class, I get to know more about the great crater of Paldea, though she has been getting a lot of eye contact with Lillie, though she also warns us that it will be not wise to go there without permission. She is also a fun teacher, especially when it comes to ancient history. And since I've traveled around a lot of regions, I remember that the 5 of us have been dragged into a conversation with the professor for 2 whole hours. The language teacher is Professor Salvatore. He's also a fun guy. He is capable of a lot of languages, and it is also a good thing that I've been traveling around a lot of regions so that it is not that hard for me to use a language. He is also impressed at my ability to speak all kinds of languages, and he even wants to ask if I can be his assistant. Though I refuse because being an assistant is not my kind of thing. The battle studies teacher is Professor Dendra, and she is also a nice teacher as she teaches us about physical and special moves in the first class. She likes to jog and I did join her in jogging for the morning as a part of my training. She is also impressed with our battling skills, especially Lillie and me. And because of it, I have become the assistant of Professor Dendra instead. The art teacher is Professor Hassel, and he seems to be Drandon's favorite teacher because he specializes in dragon types. Although a lot of people aren't interested in the art class, both Lillie and I find it very interesting. We also did some paintings for the homework, and he is also impressed at Lillie's art skills, to the extent that he would cry in front of us. He really is emotional. And finally, the home education teacher is Professor Sawaro. I was surprised that a man like him would be the one teaching home education, but the thing is, the way he teaches is also interesting, and it is thanks to him that we managed to make our own sandwiches. I made an avocado sandwich and Pikachu really likes it. Good thing that Professor Kukui teaches me how to make sandwiches when I was in Alola. Miriam is our school nurse, and she has been really kind to all of us. While trying to heal my wound, I also learned that Miriam has been trying to get a teacher's license but she keeps failing, but she is not going to give up until it is over. And now let's get to our classmates. Drandon is from the Unova region and he only came here for a month. He is actually born in the Dragon Village in the Unova region, which makes me remember Iris. He has a Hydreigon in his team, although it has been causing a lot of trouble with the three heads continuing to arguing each other. Raisa and Luke are from the Hoenn region and they come on the same day as Drandon, and my suspicions are correct about them. They are both the children of two famous people that I've met. Wallace and Steven. Both of them come here to Paldea and their Pokemon are Lovedisc and Bronzong. Due to the fact that Lillie and I are always together, a lot of people have been wondering if Lillie and I are a couple. I can see that Lillie has been blushing a lot after hearing that, and I sometimes can feel my face becoming red as well. Lillie and I are just friends, right? Anyway, today is Saturday, but our class is gathered at the schoolyard because Director Clavel is going to explain to us about the treasure hunt. Although it is great, Nimona abuses her power as a student council to gather all of our keys and rushes into our dorms to wake us up. This girl sure is crazy. Excellent. It seems everyone is here, Clavel says to us. Well then, it's time that I explained your independent study assignment. As usual, the theme will be a treasure hunt. I ask each of you to set out and travel the world in search of your own treasure. You have all learned much within the walls of our fine academy. But now it's time to turn your eyes upon the wider world and deepen your understanding. Explore Paldea's abundant nature, soak in its rich culture, discover the Pokemon that live here, and get to know the people, too. Where will you travel? Who will you meet? And what will you achieve? Of course, your Pokemon partners will be there to help you. You will journey together, learn new things together, share each other's thoughts and feelings, and find something you might always treasure. I look forward to welcoming you all back after your independent study when you return to us as fine young trainers. Let the treasure hunt begin. Onward. Now the 6 of us are at the school gate, and we have been discussing what we're going to do for today. The treasure hunt. It's finally starting, Nimona says. Are you going to challenge the gyms? There are so many chances to battle, which is obviously perfect for me. That sounds like a great idea. Maybe I can find a gym to battle today, I say. I'll also come with you, Ash, since it will be better if we travel together like we used to. Lillie says to me with the same shy tone as before. Are you sure that the two of you aren't a couple? Drandon asks, because you two seem to stick together for a long time. That's not polite to ask, Drandon. Raisa glares at him. Sorry, Drandon says. You don't mind if we come together with you for traveling? I mean, traveling alone for treasure seems boring, but together is a different story. Sure, I say with a smile, and our Pokemon also agree. Then let's all challenge the gyms together, Nimona says. TCH. How's that for a student council president, giving your own friends an insider advantage? Arvin walks towards us. Arvin? Nimona gasps. Insider advantage? Sheesh. You make it sound like we're cheating or something. All I did was suggest that he check out the gyms. It's up to Ash and Lillie whether they go. Ash and Lillie are gonna have their hands full searching out Titan Pokemon with me, Arvin says. They don't have time to waste on something like chasing after the champion rank. Oh yeah, there are those Titans as well, but seriously? There is a lot of time for us to do stuff like these. We don't have that many classes and some of them only need 2 hours before the bell rings. Oh right, we did promise to find the lairs of the Titans and seek their herba mystica. Lillie says. They also seem interesting as well. En serio? Don't go filling his head with weird stories, Nimona says. Hey, all I did was invite them along. It's still up to them whether they go, right? Arvin asks. The 5 of us are now sweating as we don't really want a fight to happen, but then my phone rings and it is from Cassiopeia. Hey, Ash and Lillie. Cassiopeia here. It's about Operation Starfall. Remember what I told you before? Team Star is made up of 5 individual squads, and each one's got its own base. I need you to go to each base, all 5 of them, and beat the squad boss there. Team Star's grunts might try to get in your way, but I'll be helping you out. From a distance. And heads up that the bosses each specialize in a different Pokemon type. Just remember the names of their crews, and you'll figure it out. Still, no need to worry. With your skills, I'm sure you're more than up to the task. I'll just go ahead and add the base's locations to your phone to you. Now I think that Arceus is playing pranks with me. There are 18 types of Pokemon, excluding the types of gyms and the Titans. The ones left are Fire, Dark, Fairy, Poison, and Fighting. And you know what? The Team Star groups are also these 5 types. Good luck with those bosses. I'll hook you up with some nice rewards every time you beat one, Cassiopeia says. Wait 1 second. Who are you supposed to be? And Team Star? Those punks are a serious hazard. Nemona yells. They're not Ash and Lily's problems. That's right, because they got more important things to do, like searching out awesome ingredients with me, Arven says. I thought it was up to Ash and Lily to decide whether they go or not. Wasn't that what you said, Nemona? And Arven? Cassiopeia asks. All of them are shocked to know their names, and Cassiopeia says, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can pull off, Ash and Lily. Bye. After ending the call, Arven asks, what was that all about? Ash, Lily. I'm glad that you're making plenty of friends here, but try not to get dragged into anything dangerous, Nemona says. Well, we are always dragged into dangers in the other regions no matter if I like it or not, I say with a wry laugh. Anyway, Lily and I will take care of everything that we're going to do. You're right. Then I'm going to battle every single trainer I can on my journey this time. Nemona says, I'll also come and see your gym battles if you want to. Thanks. Lily says. My treasure is going to be my treasure is to track down the Herba Mystica, that is. Once I gather them, I can make some best sandwiches for you, Arven says. For real? I ask, and just then, both Koraidon and Miraidon come out of the Pokeball on their own again. Oh my gosh. Did they just come out because you said sandwich? That's hilarious, Nemona laughs. Ash? Lily? What are those Pokemon? I've never seen them before, Luke asks. They're Koraidon and Miraidon. I say. Those are the reason why we were being called to the director's office on day 1. Well, you're not getting any of them. Arven grunts towards them. But both Koraidon and Miraidon turn to the two of us, and I ask, are they telling us to ride on them? Lily decides to ride on Koraidon and I ride on Miraidon, and just then, they start to change forms. Raychiu says, are you sure they're not Cyclizer? I know that the color looks different, but that was just a Cyclizer can do. Well, they're not. I say, as long as you've got those two, you can go pretty much anywhere. Paldea's your cloister, Nemona says. Yeah, maybe. Well, if you're going to search for those Titan Pokemon, I'd say set out from the East Gate, Arven says. But since Ash and Lily are actually headed to take on some gyms, I'd say go for the West Gate. Besides, it's way too easy to get lost out east, Nemona says. TCH. Man. This is why I can't get along with you. I'm out of here. Catch up soon. Then Arven leaves. I'll head to the gym. See you around, Nemona says as she leaves. Raychiu and I are going to visit the tower, so we'll also see you around. After Luke and Raychiu leave, Drandon says, well, looks like it's the 3 of us. Yeah. I say as I look at the 18 options on the map. 18 things to do, seriously. Since the treasure hunt will begin on Saturday, Lily and I decide to use our free time to train and evolve some new Pokemon. And it is a good thing that I can just bring back my Pokemon, so I decided to have Incineroar train with Sprigatito. Lily asks, are you sure it is a good thing to have Sprigatito train with Incineroar? I'm sure that it will be fine. I reply as I see the Grass Kitten Pokemon walk towards Heal Pokemon. Incineroar seems a little attracted by the kitten, and I sigh, Incineroar, I need you to help with Sprigatito. It will be great if it can evolve into its final form before the beginning of the weekend. Incineroar nods as he starts to get along with the Grass Kitten, and the Grass Kitten seems to admire Incineroar a little. Lily says, looks like Incineroar has an admirer now. I guess you're right about that. Now for Fuecoco. I mutter, I think Crocodile can train with him. Crocodile? You really have a lot of dark types, Lily says. I did tell you that I have all the Pokemon. I reply, and for Quaxley, perhaps I'll choose Golduck. Lechonk can go with Grumpig, and Tarantula can train with Ariados. After getting the Pokemon out, we begin to train with our Pokemon. Since we're at Southern Area 1, not many people will try to bother us here as we decide to set up a picnic. After a while, Drandon, Luke and Raychiu arrive and Drandon asks, "Are they your Pokemon?" They all look pretty strong. "Well, they are our Pokemon, and we're going to let them train our newcomers," I say. "So you don't need to command or do something?" Raychiu asks. "If you have every single Pokemon in the ranch, they will know what to do and I trust them and vice versa," I say. "Wait, all the Pokemon? Dude. There are a total of 10 Pokemon in the Pokédex. Are you saying that you have all of them?" Drandon asks. "Of course not. I might have almost 400, and I still don't have any Paldea Pokemon except these ones," Ash says. "How are you taking care of all these Pokemon?" Luke asks. "I have a large home territory now that I've become the world champion, and my Pokemon can roam there freely without being interrupted," I say. "Some of them are living in our facility because we have staff workers to help out. Because of that, we also set up a teleportation device between the Alola and the Kanto region," Lillie replies. "Won't that be kinda dangerous?" Drandon asks. "Well, you're right about that, but it never failed and we don't want to jinx it after all," I say. "I guess it's time to take a break. We'll do the same thing tomorrow." Every one of our Pokemon nods as I recall all of them to the Pokeballs. Wednesday. When Tarantula starts to evolve, all of us are getting excited as we watch carefully. It has become a giant spider with the bottom half looking like threads. Spadops. The trap Pokemon. Bug type. Evolved from Tarantula at LV 15. It clings to branches and ceilings using its threads and moves without a sound. It takes out its prey before the prey even notices it. And it is capable of using the move Silk Trap. Lillie says while looking at the Pokédex. "I wonder what it will look like. Let's try it out with the Buizel there," I say as I challenge the Buizel to the battle, and when Buizel uses Aqua Jet, I command Spadops to use Silk Trap, and it is actually a Protect that lowers the speed stat. And my other Pokemon are also starting to evolve. Sprigatito evolves after a student challenges me to a battle, and Incineroar was watching how she goes to make sure that she's fine. Floragato. The Grass Cat Pokemon. Grass type. Evolved from Sprigatito at LV 16. The hardness of Floragato's fur depends on the Pokemon's mood. When Floragato is prepared to battle, its fur becomes pointed and needle-sharp. After the evolution, Incineroar seems to be interested in this Pokemon, though he would want to see more of it. Fuecoco also evolves after accidentally burns a wild Lechonk. It evolves and manages to chase it away. Crocalor. The Fire Croc Pokemon. Fire type. Evolved from Fuecoco at LV 16. The valve in Crocalor's flame sac is closely connected to its vocal cords. This Pokemon utters a guttural cry as it spews flames every which way. Geez. Fuecoco. I mean, Crocalor. You really did give us a lot of trouble, didn't you? Lillie scolds, and I just sigh with Pikachu. Raychiu has been helping me train with Quaxly as she also teaches it some dance moves, and eventually, Quaxly evolves during the middle of the lesson. Quaxwell. The practicing Pokemon. Water type. Evolved from Quaxly at LV 16. These Pokemon constantly run through shallow waters to train their legs, then compete with each other to see which of them kicks most gracefully. Looks like Quaxwell can get more practice with the dance moves. I'm sure they'll be handy in battles, Raychiu says. You're right about that. I know a friend who likes to do dance battles, I say as I remember Tierno in the Kalos region. And today's final evolutions are Lechonk. Nimona told us about Lechonk's evolution having different forms judging from gender, and it is also surprising for us to see it. Oinkologne, male. The Hog Pokemon. Normal type. Evolved from Lechonk at LV 18. Oinkologne is proud of its fine, glossy skin. It emits a concentrated scent from the tip of its tail. Oinkologne, female. The Hog Pokemon. Normal type. Evolved from Lechonk at LV 18. This Pokemon sends a flower-like scent wafting about. Well-developed muscles in its legs allow it to leap more than 16 feet with no trouble at all. So the female one has Armo Avail as the ability, but the male one is Lingering Aroma? Lillie asks. Well, it sure has a lingering aroma, I say, but it will be useful in battles, though. Thursday, Lillie, Drandon, Raychiu, and I managed to find a Terra Crystal that has a terrestrialized Jumpluff in it, so we decide to battle. The Jumpluff is a grass type, as it shows a flower. Lillie uses her Terra Orb and Snowy has become a fairy type, which is a heart with wings on it. Use Draining Kiss. Lillie yells, and the attack manages to hit the Pokemon, but when I terastallized Pikachu again, something strange has happened. Instead of having the snowflake on top of it, now it has a spooky ghost on top of it. So your Pikachu's Terra type is a ghost type? Drandon says. No. I thought it was ice type. How did it happen? Did Pikachu change its Terra type? I ask. That is impossible unless you have those Terra shards. Raychiu says. Maybe you're just remembering it wrong. But I also thought that Pikachu's Terra type is ice. Lillie says. Anyway, Ash, let's just finish this Jumpluff. Okay. Pikachu, use Shadow Volt. I say. Shadow Volt? Is there a move like that? Drandon asks, but both Raychiu and Drandon are shocked to see that Pikachu is controlling its shadow to create a giant shadow ball, and then it shoots at the Jumpluff like electricity, knocking it out. Now Drandon, I yell, and Drandon throws the Pokeball and captures the Jumpluff. Good, now I have a Grass-type Pokemon in my team, Drandon says with a smile. Pikachu also returns to normal as he is also confused and tired. I say, maybe we should stop the hunt right now, all of my Pokemon are quite tired. You're right. Let's all get something to eat, Raychiu says as we all head back to Mesagoza. That night, Lillie is staying in my room with me as I send out Arceus. I ask, Arceus, there is something I want to ask you. When we use this terastallizing thing, Pikachu will change into a random type. Do you know what's going on here? Arceus says, really? It happened to your Pikachu? Yeah, back then when I first use it, its Terra type is ice, but when I use it today, it becomes ghost type. I say. Since you're the one who can have more than one type, I want to know if you have influenced Pikachu. Arceus stares at Pikachu and then he says, it might be possible, or perhaps your Pikachu really is this special. Considering you guys use my plate powers to create new moves, maybe that might be the reason why Pikachu's Terra type is not stable. So we have to be careful if we going to terastallize Pikachu. I say as we decide to end the day. Friday. You mean your Pikachu can have more than one Terra type? Nimona yells in surprise. Yeah. When I try it out this morning, its Terra type becomes electric type, I say. But it was ghost yesterday. Was this some sort of glitch? Luke asks. Come on, we're not in a virtual world. Raychiu says. But if that's the case, your Pikachu must be a special case. I think so as well, which means we have to be careful while using Pikachu to do the Terra raids, I say. Then after having Florigato battling Incineroar, it eventually evolves and now it is a Meowscarada. Meowscarada. The Magician Pokemon. Grass and Dark type. Evolved from Florigato at LV. 36. This Pokemon uses the reflective fur lining its cape to camouflage the stem of its flower, creating the illusion that the flower is floating. And because of the new evolution, I think that Incineroar can't help but fall in love with the Magician, and the Grass type is also comfortable with him more than my other Pokemon. We also decide to feed Crowcaller some express candies that we got from yesterday, and also evolves after consuming some. Skeledirge. The Singer Pokemon. Fire and Ghost type. Evolved from Crowcaller at LV. 36. Skeledirge's gentle singing soothes the souls of all that hear it. It burns its enemies to a crisp with flames of over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a ghost type now, I say, and a singer? When it battles Crocodile, it bursts out flames as the sound is just like singing. Nimona says, that's Torch Song if you don't know. It raises the special attack after using it. So it will only become powerful, wow, Lillie says. And finally, Quaxwell has been practicing dancing with Lillie this time and it also evolves into the final form, and becomes a great dancer. Quaquaval. The Dancer Pokemon. Water and Fighting type. Evolved from Quaxwell at LV. 36. Dancing in ways that evoke faraway places, this Pokemon mesmerizes all that see it. Flourishes of its decorative water feathers slice into its foes. And we also see him creating dance steps while attacking the Golduck, and it only becomes faster and faster. That's Aqua Step, Nimona says. It is Quaquaval's signature move. This is really awesome. I say, we did manage to break our record of evolving in a short amount of time. Maybe because you didn't bother bringing your old Pokemon in your past journeys to train and gain their experience. Lillie sighs. So tomorrow is going to be the day when the treasure hunt begins. Nimona says, I bet using those 3 Pokemon, you won't have any problem defeating them. You're right about that. I say with a nod. We are still at the plaza as we are trying to decide what to do. Lillie says, I wonder. If we get a badge for each conquest on the map, then does that mean you will be having 18 badges in the end? That will also be quite shocking. We usually get 8 badges only. Drandon says. But I'm also curious to see how it will go as well. Anyway, let's do the closest gym here. I promised Nimona that I'm going to challenge the gym this week. I guess Arven's Titan battle can wait for the next week. I see. Drandon says. Then let's head west first. Cortondo Gym is the closest one and it is a bug-type gym. Lillie and I nod as we get onto our Koraidon and Miraidon. Drandon is sitting with me as we set off. We go through the west gate and head to Southern Province Area 2. Although Nimona calls us for advice that I already knew from Drandon, we still continue forward. There is barely any tall grass around the area, and there are also some olive trees on the way. We do notice some new Pokemon. There is actually a Pokemon called Smoliv that looks just like an olive, and there is also a dark-type dog called Mashif. So Ash, what do you think of the bug-type Pokemon? Since you're going to battle them after all, Drandon asks. Well, bug-type Pokemon are really unique in their own way. My first capture is actually a Caterpie that evolves into a Butterfree in the end, I say. It is really common for having a bug-type as the first Pokemon to capture, Lillie says. But I think that some Pokemon like Golisopod are really strong, especially its first impression. Vespiquen is also strong with its order moves, and there is Vivian that has a lot of different forms as well. So have you tried the bug-type gyms in the past? Drandon asks. I remember that I actually lost the first time in Sandaloon Gym in Kalos. Their sleep powder and sticky webs are really annoying, I sigh. That might be true. Lillie says, sleep powder makes opponents fall asleep, and sticky web lowers the speed when sending out a Pokemon, and sometimes Pokemon are trapped there and even can't move. Though my buddy here managed to come up with a way to get rid of the sleep powder, I say with a smile as I rub Pikachu's head. And what about the bug-type Z move? Drandon asks. Since you're the Alola champion, it will be nice to know about it. It's called Savage Spinout. I say. I used it with my Vikavolt and it surrounds the silk around the opponent and then slashes through it to deal a lot of damage. We continue to talk about what we know about bug-type Pokemon, and eventually, we finally arrive at the town of Cortondo, surrounded by olive fields. Lillie says, look at all the olive trees here. They are also a great place for some Pokemon to live, like Smoliv, Combee, Starly, and so on, Drandon says. And that building over there is the gym building, I say while looking at the giant white building. I bet that Nimona is already there waiting for us. Then let's go there first, and then we explore the town, I say. When we get into the gym, we already find Nimona there. Oh hey, Ash, Lillie, and I see that Drandon is here as well. Came to see this gym. Huh? That can only mean one thing. You're out to earn some gym badges and take on the Pokemon League, aren't you? Yeah, Lillie and I are doing this, I say, and I'll be doing it first. Before you can battle the gym leader, you've got to pass a certain challenge set by them, their gym test, Nimona says. Well, we do have the gym tests in other regions after all. I say. Every gym test is different, right? You seem to know about this a lot, Ash, Drandon says. Of course. There is one time in Galar I have to sit in some sort of spinning cup until I reach from the top of the obstacle course to the bottom, and there is also one in Unova that I have to find the right book to get to the battlefield. But look around this place. Lillie says, there doesn't seem to have a battlefield around here. Where are we supposed to battle the gym leader, then? The gym leaders are not in the gym after all, Nimona says. They will be at their working places. Once you pass the gym test, you'll be given a permit. Show her the permit and you can battle her. I see. This really is different from the other regions, I nod. Ah, I'm so glad that both of you are aiming to be a champion, too. This is the best news ever. Man, I'm so excited, I can barely stand still. Guess I'll just go battle every trainer I run into. After she runs off, Lillie says, Ash, why don't you go first? I mean, it will be great if you do it first. Sure. I say as I walk towards the counter. The staff says, "Welcome to the Cortondo gym. Let me register you as a challenger. Your name is Ash Ketchum, yes?" Of course. I let the Rotom phone register my ID in the applications, and then the staff says, "Great, now, in order to face gym leader Katie, you'll first need to pass the gym test. Here at the Cortondo gym, that means taking on the olive roll." Olive roll? We exclaim in confusion. Olive production is a big part of life in Cortondo. We've held the Olive Harvest Festival here each year for generations to usher in bumper crops. To pass our gym test, you'll need to roll an olive-shaped ball all the way to the goal. Your efforts should help ensure we get a great olive harvest next year, too. The staff over at the olive rolling field will explain the rules to you in further detail. Then he registers the location to my map, but it is not necessary because it is just to the north of the town. Lillie says, "Olive roll. That sounds very interesting." I know. I say. I can't wait to see what is that about. Okay. I think I spoke too soon. When we arrive, Lillie and I can only gasp in shock at the giant olive ball in front of us. Not only that, there is some sort of maze in it. Look at how big the olive ball is. It is probably 3 times the height of us, Brandon says, but that's also interesting. Though I wonder if I can really push the ball, Lillie mutters. There is the staff member, I say as we all talk to her. Welcome to the olive rolling field. This gym test is all about stamina. You'll need to push with all you've got to get a large olive ball rolling and make it all the way to the end. Get the ball over various obstacles, then push it into the goal to clear the course. So I guess that red basket there is the goal, I ask. It really is at the end of the maze. Now that you're all filled in, are you ready to start the gym test? She asks me, and I say, of course. I give her the permit and she says, great, put in a wish for a good olive harvest, and roll, roll, roll away. Then I was taken to the starting point, and after the countdown, I start to roll the giant olive. But just as I touch it, it just falls and rolls forward. This doesn't seem to be hard to roll, I say, but the problem is the rolling direction. I have been very careful not to get it over the line, and eventually, I'm at a crossroads. One seems to be a long path, and the other one is a short path blocked by a trainer and several smolives, and the shortcut is the best way to do. I can give you a shortcut if you defeat me, she says as she sends out Kricketune to battle. Of course. I decide to send out Houndoom since I want this to be a fair fight instead of overpowering them. And Kricketune's sing really makes Houndoom fall asleep in the mid-battle. Houndoom, just wake up and use Flamethrower. I don't know how many times I yell, but Houndoom is so asleep that he has been attacked by Fury Cutter and Slash a lot of times. Eventually, Houndoom wakes up and does the fire attack, defeating the Kricketune. Looks like you're headed right past my Smoliv wall, the trainer says as she has the Smoliv clear the way. Now I have to be careful not to let the olive ball hit any one of the Smoliv, since they look so small, and the last thing I want is to see the Smoliv oil splattered on the ground. This looks very easy for him, don't you think, Lillie? Brandon asks. You're right. Lillie says with concern. Ash, please be careful. Eventually, there is only one trainer left in this obstacle, and he is using Venonat to battle. But Venonat is still no match for my Houndoom and eventually I defeat it. Now how do I get the olive ball into the basket? I ask in wonder. But then I decide to use all of my strength to push the giant olive ball, and just by touching the red basket, I jumped as party poppers are used as streams and confetti surrounding me. With that performance, I'm sure we can look forward to a great olive harvest next year, the staff says. I'm happy to declare your gym test officially cleared. Congratulations. Please report your result to the lobby staffer at the gym. Good luck in your battle against Katie. Thanks. I say, and I can see Lillie rushing to me and hugging me. You did it, Ash, that is amazing. Pikachu also jumps into my shoulder and nuzzles me. I say, it is not actually hard, I'm sure you can do this too, Lillie. Thank you for giving me that confidence, though, Lillie chuckles. After getting to the gym building, we inform the staff and he says, welcome back, Ash, I hear you were on a roll out there. You've now earned the right to challenge the gym leader. Best of luck. He gives me the second permit, the one that is used for the gym leaders, and he says, the gym leader is in the bakery known as Patisserie Soapberry, so head there if you're ready to challenge her. A bakery? I wonder how tasty the food there is, I say. Same old Ash. Lillie shakes her head and I can see Snowy doing the same thing. Well, Patisserie Soapberry is over there, Drandon says as he points outside the door, and once we go outside the building, we can see the giant bakery in front of us. On top of the bakery is the battlefield where the gym battles are held. Then what are we waiting for? Let's just go, I say as we all rush there. When we get to the top of the bakery, we find the gym leader Katie who is feeding cupcakes to a Vivian. Eat up, my cute little Vivian. Vivian finishes the cupcake and it flies away, and Katie turns to us. Oh, what a lovely trainer you are. Thank you very much for your skillful olive rolling. It was quite impressive. No problem, I say. So you must be Katie, the gym leader, right? Yes, and I am the owner here at Patisserie Soapberry. Oh, that's right, I'm not in my shop. I'm on duty as leader of the Cortondo gym right now. Forgive me. Ahem. My name is Katie, and I am the gym leader here in Cortondo. What a weird person, she really doesn't need to do the introductions again. My main line of work is crafting sweets as a pastry chef. Little sweets that bring happiness with just one bite. Bug-type Pokemon hiding in foliage. Both are small and yet very powerful. You may be the world monarch, but don't let your guard down unless you would like to find yourself knocked off your feet. So I assume you know me as well, I say. Every gym leader has heard of your arrival and they have been training very hard. I'm glad to be your first one, Katie says. The staff member from before is now acting as the referee, and he says, the battle between the Santaloon gym leader Katie and the challenger Ash Ketchum is about to begin. Each trainer will be using 6 Pokemon, and when one loses all 6 Pokemon, the other trainer wins, the referee says. 6 Pokemon already? Lillie asks in confusion. So this is what you mean. I assume that all of the gym leaders are going to face me in 6-on-6 battles, I say. Of course, I hope you don't chicken out because of it, Katie says. My first Pokemon will be Lokix. When the Grasshopper Pokemon appears on the field, I don't think I have seen this Pokemon before, but it has to be a bug type. I'll go with Talonflame. When Talonflame appears on the field, the battle begins. Don't take my bug type Pokemon lightly. You will be in a world of pain if you do. Now let's get started with Lunge, Katie says. Dodge it, Talonflame, I command. Lokix charges at Talonflame, and much to my delight, Talonflame manages to dodge the attack. Now use Steel Wing. Talonflame strengthens the wings and attacks, and it manages to deal some damage. Now use Fire Blast. Bounce. Lokix jumps high into the air and causes the attack to miss, and it also lands on Talonflame to deal a lot of damage and even get it paralyzed. No, Talonflame, I yell in horror. Let me show you its true power. Axe Kick. Lokix jumps into the air and continues to kick Talonflame. Katie seems to be so strong. Lillie mutters, but Ash can do it. Time to finish it, Sucker Punch, Katie says as Lokix starts to charge the attack. Talonflame. Don't let it hit by using Roost. I yell and Talonflame recovers its health, and Sucker Punch also fails because of it. Now finish with Brave Bird, I command, and Talonflame manages to defeat the Lokix in the end. Alright, that is the first win. I say, you did great, Lokix. Katie recalls her Pokemon and says, here goes nothing. I guess it is time for the real deal. Fortress, come on out. I was confused as to why she would send out a bug and steel type to the field. I mean, Talonflame might be paralyzed, but a fire move is 4 times more effective against it, right? Talonflame, use Fire Blast. I decide to attack, but Katie just smiles and says, use Stone Edge. I gulp, so this is what she wants, and unfortunately, Talonflame can't dodge the attack because of the paralysis, and eventually it is knocked out. Talonflame, take a rest. I say after recalling the Pokemon. Skeleturge, I choose you. My next Pokemon is Skeleturge, and it seems to be ready to attack. Fortress, let's start off with the curse, Katie says. Fortress decides to lower its speed to raise its stats, and I yell, use Torch Song. Skeleturge breathes out fire and blasts at the Pokemon, and it manages to hit Fortress and raises the special attack. Are you okay, Fortress? Katie asks as Fortress nods. Good? One more time, Skeleturge, Ash says as Skeleturge uses Torch Song again. Use Gyro Ball, Katie says, and much to my shock, when it turns into a ball, with the speed lowered and the boost of attack stat, it deals much more damage to Skeleturge. Oh no, use Shadow Ball, I yell, and Skeleturge tries to attack with the Ghost-type move, but the continuous rolling dodges the attack. And now finish it with Stone Edge. I try to let Skeleturge dodge the attack, but eventually, it is hit and Skeleturge is defeated. Looks like Skeleturge is not enough to defeat Fortress, Drandon says. But Fortress is weak now. Lillie says. Skeleturge, I am sorry, please take a rest. I look at the field and say, I need a Pokemon that can handle the Stone Edge. Quaquaval, I choose you. When I send out the Dancer Pokemon, Katie says, so you're using a fighting type, nice choice. However, it takes more to defeat me. Curse again. Not this time. Liquidation. The Pokemon is blasted by the attack and it is getting weaker. Then Fortress tries to use Gyro Ball again, but this time I have Quaquaval use counter, knocking it out. Drandon says, well, Ash's style is unique. I know. Lillie says, that is what makes the battle interesting. Katie sends out her third Pokemon, a Vespiquen. It starts to build defense by using Defense Order. Well, its defense raises. Quaquaval, let's do Aqua Steps. Ash says as Quaquaval starts to dance while attacking. Well, Vespiquen, use Attack Order and Defense Order. Vespiquen has some small bee-like things surrounding it, then the battle begins to be like a tug-out war. I wonder, is Katie trying to tire Quaquaval out? Lillie says. As Vespiquen uses Heal Order, Quaquaval keeps using its raised speed to deal more damage. After a long battle, the two Pokemon faint due to fatigue. Ash says, I never thought it will end like this. Me too. Katie says, you really are a remarkable trainer. Now here comes this Pokemon, Spadops. Spadops is good at defense, so I decide to go with Pikachu. And Pikachu is really excited to do this battle. Alright Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Pikachu then charges and fires at Spadops. Block with Silk Trap. The protection causes the electric attack to miss, and Katie says, Skitter Smack. Quick Attack. I yell. I know this move from the Isle of Armor. It lowers the special attack stat once it hits. Both attacks manage to hit and Pikachu does get his stat lowered. Use Wild Charge. Pikachu smirks and then hits Spadops before it can set up the Silk Trap, causing it to step back. Alright. Katie says, Brick Break. Spadops uses the chance to deal a fighting move on Pikachu, and Lillie starts to get worried about me. Pikachu, I know you can do it. We have a lot of strategies to use. Now use Quick Attack and Double Team at the same time. Pikachu then does it and then duplicates and moves fast. What? Katie and Spadops are surprised to see this. They can't find the real one to use the Silk Trap. Finish it off with Volt Tackle. Ash says as the rest of the copies hit Spadops, causing him to faint. Thanks, Spadops, take a nice rest. Huh, I'm impressed you managed to pull that off, Katie said. Thanks, now it's time to beat your other Pokemon, I declare. Don't think it'll be that easy. Go Heracross. Katie then releases her next Pokemon and continues. Return, Pikachu. Jumpluff, you are next. I decide to use Jumpluff because why not? It's a flying type. Now Ash still has 3 more Pokemon while Katie has 2. Lillie says. He can win this, I know for sure. Looks like someone is excited. Drandon teases, causing her to blush. Alright. Jumpluff use Arcabatics. I command and Jumpluff starts to charge at Heracross. Dodge it. Heracross dodges the attack and I yell, use Stun Spore. I decide to return the favor by making Heracross paralyzed, and Katie yells, Megahorn. And just great. I forgot that Jumpluff is a grass type, so bug moves are going to do normal damage. I have Jumpluff use Leech Seed, trying to absorb the power of Heracross. Now use Stone Edge, again. This guy also uses the Rock move and deals a lot of damage to Jumpluff. She really is not holding back. And when it goes for Night Slash, I know that Jumpluff might be a lost cause, so I decide to do this. Memento. Using the rest of the health, I decide to lower Heracross attack stats, but Jumpluff is also knocked out. Knowing you're going to lose, you decide to do Memento, that is something. Katie says. Pikachu, I guess I need you out again. I have Pikachu on the field again, and Heracross goes for close combat, which deals a lot of damage to Pikachu. But Pikachu still survives and I know that it is my chance to win. Use Thunderbolt, and much to my delight, just one move and Heracross is down to the ground fainted. Now one left. I say. Indeed. You're quite good, aren't you? How should I roll things out from here? I'll use Ursaring. Lillie and I are surprised since I know for sure that Ursaring is not a bug type. Unless. Now time to break free from your cocoon and come into your own. Katie yells and she terrestrializes the Ursaring, and it becomes a bug type by having two beautifly antennas on top of it. Pikachu, you can do this. Use Floaty Fall, I say. I decide to use a flying type move with this, but just as Ursaring takes the hit, Katie says, let's see how you can handle this. High horsepower. Damn it. Pikachu can't take this attack, and he also faints in the end. Pikachu. I rush to him and bring him to Lillie. I'm sorry, Pikachu. After giving the Pokemon to Lillie, I sigh and send out my final Pokemon. Greedent, I choose you. Now everyone is surprised at my final decision, and I also decide to terrestrialize it. I know that this guy's Terra type is rock, so when it terrestrializes, it has a rock coliseum on top of it. Ah, a rock type, I see. Feast your eyes on my shining bug decoration. Though this one is not so sweet, Fury Cutter. It tries to attack with the bug type move, but I have Greedent use Rollout to dodge the attack and continuously hit the bug type Ursaring. Rollout gets stronger each time, and let's see how Ursaring can handle this, I say. Play rough. Ursaring tries to stop the attack, but I'm not letting him attack my Pokemon. Use Psychic Fangs. Now, I yell, and the attack eventually causes Ursaring a lot of pain, but when Ursaring goes for Crunch, I let it take the attack until I say, counter. The attack eventually defeats Ursaring, knocking him out of the battle. Ursaring is unable to battle, Greedent is the winner, which means the match goes to Ash Ketchum. We did it, Greedent, I say as I hug the Pokemon, and he is probably hungry because of the battle. Katie recalls her Ursaring and says, your strength rose during our battle like a nice bread in the oven. I feel that I may need to work on my own strength as well. Congratulations. You passed. As proof of your victory against me, the gym leader, allow me to present you with this gym badge. I hope you'll enjoy it alongside a heaping serving of some of my deluxe handmade treats. Katie then gives me the bug badge, and not only that, Rotom decides to take a picture for the two of us as she is giving me and my Pokemon some cupcakes. I wish you luck in your future adventures. May they be as sweet and lovely as a good dessert. Off you go, then. Until we meet again, Katie says. The next day, it's Lillie's turn to do the gym battle. She only needs to defeat her Lokix, Spadops, and Ursaring. I guess maybe because I'm the world monarch after all. And once we finish the gym battle, Nemona is calling to me. Hey, Ash. Just had to tell you, my Pokemon are learning some pretty cool new moves. Be ready. How'd it go at the gym, by the way? Nemona asks. Both Lillie and I pass the battle, we both get the badge, I say. I'm so glad I encouraged you to take on the gyms. Nice job, passed me, I'm training hard too, by the way. Day and night. Going all over the place to boot. Thank goodness we've got the map app. It helps a ton with figuring out where to go next, especially in a huge place like Paldea. After all, the path to getting stronger usually has some strange stops and detours. Yeah. Speaking of going strange places, I wonder what Arven's up to. I sigh. I hope he isn't mad that I didn't do his Titan search for this week. I'm sure he'll understand. Lillie says to me as we end Nemona's call and explore the rest of the town. Monday. No way. You mean you get to battle Katie with a full 6-on-6 battle? Nemona yells in surprise. I never got to battle her like that. Considering that you're the world monarch, it is no wonder. Raychiu says. And despite that, you still win against her. Yeah. I say. It is really not that easy. Anyway, maybe it is time for us to capture new Pokemon, don't you think, Lillie? Sure. Let's go see what we can find from the South Province area too, Lillie says. We all head outside after class and we go to the fields, and the Pokemon that I want to capture is a Nimble, the pre-evolution of Lokix. By using Spadops, I managed to capture the Pokemon in the end. Nimble. The grasshopper Pokemon. Bug type. It's highly skilled at a fighting style in which it uses its jumping capabilities to dodge incoming attacks while also dealing damage to opponents. But this Nimble is a little dirty, don't you think? Maybe you should give it a bath, Luke says. Sure, it's a good thing that Professor Saguaro gave us each a showering gear for picnics, I say while we decide to start the picnic. And when we do it, we check our gears and find a basket that seems to be for Pokemon eggs. Since there is no Pokemon daycare or nursery in the Paldea region, I guess we have to hatch eggs on our own. Besides, Professor Jack also told us that when our Pokemon breed an egg, they will just put it into the basket so we can just take it and all we need is to wait. There, you're nice and clean, I say to Nimble, and he seems to enjoy the shower. After that, we decide to have some sandwiches for snacks before heading back to the school. Tuesday, after class, we decide to continue capturing Pokemon, and this time we're back at South Province Area 1 because my goal is to find a Pawmi. So you say that you captured your Pawmi here in this area, Nimona? I ask. Yeah, though they should be here somewhere, Nimona says. And we managed to find a Pawmi. Instead of battling them, I decide to have Pikachu interact with the mouse Pokemon. And we decide to use the convincing method to have it join the team. Pawmi. The mouse Pokemon. Electric type. The pads of its paws are electricity discharging organs. Pawmi fires electricity from its forepaws while standing unsteadily on its hind legs. You know, for some reason I think that something is missing, I say. I mean, capturing Pokemon here is really easy. I used to have a hard time capturing Pokemon. Maybe it is because there's no Team Rocket following you here? Lillie asks. I mean, they would usually show up. Team Rocket? What are you talking about? Luke asks. Oh, they are a bunch of bad guys who try to steal my Pikachu, I say. They would usually show up and do some sort of opening motto, and then try to use their machines to take Pikachu. After we break it, they will use their Pokemon to fight back, and then Pikachu uses Thunderbolt to blast them to who knows where. You sound like you have experience dealing with them, Drandon says. Trust me, they have been stalking me since day one, and after that their goal is always my Pikachu or the Pokemon that we managed to befriend, I sigh. Wait, you said that you started your journey when you were 10, that means they stalked you 9 years ago, and never once they tried to give up? Raychiu asks. They are either stupid or they really have faith in themselves to endure all the attacks you gave them, Luke sighs. They were also there when I defeated Leon, so I wonder if they truly give up this time. I really don't want to deal with them, I sigh. Before we leave, we also find a brown-colored Wooper on the road. I say, is that a Wooper? You're right. There are also Paldean forms like how your Vulpix is known as the Alola form. Drandon says. Paldean Wooper is a poison and ground type though. Then we decide to capture it by throwing a Pokeball, and it just goes in with one try, much to our delight. Paldean Wooper. The poison fish Pokemon. Poison and ground type. After losing a territorial struggle, Wooper began living on land. The Pokemon changed over time, developing a poisonous film to protect its body. Sometimes I'm surprised at your ability to throw Pokeballs, Nimona says. You really need to teach me how to do it. Of course. I say. Wednesday, during the battle training class, we have been training with Pawmi in class and Pawmi eventually evolve into Pawmo and also learn to use arm thrust. Pawmo. The mouse Pokemon. Electric and fighting type. Evolve from Pawmi at LV. 18. Pawmo uses a unique fighting technique in which it uses its forepaws to strike foes and zap them with electricity from its paw pads simultaneously. Evolving during the battle, isn't that interesting? I turn to see Professor Dendra walking towards me. Yes, Professor. When I battled Nimona's Pawmot the other day, I think I want to have one. That's why I decide to train Pawmi from scratch, I say. I see. Do you want to know how to evolve Pawmo into a Pawmot? The professor asks me, and I look at her with surprise. So Pawmo doesn't evolve by leveling up? That might not be the case for Pawmo, and it isn't the Thunderstone as well. All you need to do is run with him for 1,000 steps, and then leveling it up, Dendra says. 1,000 steps? That sounds a lot, I say with a gasp. If you're using the sports field here, you just need to run for 4 laps. Dendra replies to me. That sure is a good advice, Professor. I say, After class, everyone is watching me as I am at the starting point with Pomo and Pikachu by my side. Now let's start running, should we? The two mouse Pokemon nod as we start to run. Lillie asks, are you sure this is the way to evolve Pomo into Pomot? This is what we called the Let's Go feature. Brandon says. Some Pokemon, like Pomo, evolve by walking with him for 1000 steps and level up. But that does seem tiring. Luke says. It really is. Nimona says. But sometimes going outside to capture Pokemon, I wouldn't notice that I've already gone 1000 steps, that's why my Pomo evolves. After 4 laps are done, all 3 of us are tired. Lillie brings me a bottle of water and says, here. Thanks, Lillie. I gulp down the water, and Lillie also gives Pikachu and Pomo each a candy. But the candy given to Pomo is the rare candy, and it evolves into Pomot in the end. Pomot. The hands-on Pokemon. Electric and fighting type. Evolve from Pomo when leveled up while outside of its Pokeball after walking 1000 steps using the Let's Go feature. This Pokemon normally is slow to react, but once it enters battle, it will strike down its enemies with lightning-fast movements. Great, now it is a Pomot. I decide to check the Pokédex, and I find that there is a move for Pomot. No way. Lillie rushes to me and asks, what is it? Pomot has a move with only 1 PP. Revival Blessing. The user bestows a loving blessing, reviving a party Pokemon that has fainted and restoring half that Pokemon's max HP. That means when you use it on a gym battle, you can revive a fainted Pokemon and you can use it again. Lillie gasps in delight. She grabs Pomot in the air and says, nice, Pomot. Pomot seems to be a little scared of height as he accidentally unleashes the Thunderbolt, shocking all of us in the process. Thursday. We decide to train Wooper this time since I want to see what a poison-type Quagsire looks like. But just after we battle some Smoliv at the olive fields near Cortondo, we finally evolve Wooper, but instead of being a Quagsire, this new Pokemon is quadrupedal and doesn't look anything like Quagsire. This is a Clodsire, Ash. It's not the Quagsire. Luke says to us, and we are surprised. So it is just like Galarian Meowth or Yamask. Clodsire. The spiny fish Pokemon. Poison and ground type. Evolved from Paldea Wooper at LV. 20. It lives at the bottom of ponds and swamps. It will carry Wooper on its back and ferry them across the water from one shore to the other. But at least it is also a good Pokemon to use. I say. Poison and ground, that typing was used for Nidoqueen and Nidoking. And now we have a new one. But its eyes are still like that, Lillie says. Makes me remember the Ditto incident, I laugh. Ditto? You mean they both have the same eyes so you won't be able to find out which is a Ditto disguised? Luke asks. Yeah, pretty funny, don't you think? Lillie chuckles. Friday. Today, we decide to train Nimble and let it evolve into a Lokix. By doing so, we decide to do some Terra raids and defeat some Pokemon to gain some experience. And once we manage to evolve Nimble, we also get it to learn this axe kick. Lokix. The grasshopper Pokemon. Bug type. Evolved from Nimble at LV. 24. It uses its normally folded third set of legs when in showdown mode. This places a huge burden on its body, so it can't stay in this mode for long. Once we finish training, we are at the cafeteria and we find Arvin there. Arvin looks at us and says, Ash, Lillie. Are you going to help me tomorrow? You didn't come last week. Sorry, but we've decided to take turns. I promise that tomorrow we'll help you with the Titan, I say. Good, then we'll meet at South Province Area 3 tomorrow, is that fine with you? Arvin asks. Of course. I say. And after that, he decides to leave for who knows what's going on. Raisa asks, don't you think that guy is hiding something? Yeah, I wonder what it is. I say. But Luke, you said that you're coming with us tomorrow, right? Of course. I don't want to miss seeing this Stony Cliff Titan. Luke says. Though I also wonder why would Arvin want to get those Herba Mysticas. I don't think it is just only to make some sandwiches. I say. I think he's hiding something from us. But Koraidon and Miraidon will want to have those sandwiches as well. You're right about that. I say. You say that they're similar to totem Pokemon. How did you guys beat a totem Pokemon? Brandon asks. Well, totem Pokemon will sometimes call out their Pokemon for help, but we just defeat it like normal Pokemon battles, and sometimes Z moves are also helpful for that, I say. I didn't defeat a totem Pokemon, but I was given one after teaming up with one to defeat their enemy. I say. That's how I got my ICM Z. Cool. Drandon says. When Luke, Lillie, and I are at the eastern gate to South Province Area 3, Arvin says that he has to prepare and wants us to go first, so we all head there alone. South Province Area 3 is full of Pokemon like Rookidee, Yungoos, and also some Pokemon that we've already owned, and there are some new Pokemon like a rock salt Pokemon Knackley. When we continue moving, we get a call from Arvin. I ask, what's the matter, Arvin? Ash and Lillie, I assume that Luke is also with you, right? So, from what I can gather, the Stony Cliff Titan likes to lurk somewhere in this rocky area. I had a look around when you ditched me for the gym last week, but I couldn't find any traces of it. Maybe it's way up high on a cliff or something. You mean like hanging at the cliff? Lillie asks. Nah, that's impossible. I don't think it'd be hiding somewhere that tricky, so don't go falling off any cliffs or anything trying to search it out somewhere too strange, Arvin says. Well, we'll make sure about that. I end the call as we decide to move forward. Luke says, so what do you think about rock-type Pokemon? They are really rock hard after all. Though I do have some great rock-type Pokemon, like my Tyranitar. He has trouble passed as an egg before I found it, and sometimes fossil Pokemon like Bastiodon or Archeops as rock-type as well. Are you going to mention that you discovered the first dusk form Lycanroc? Lillie chuckles at me. Wait, a dusk form Lycanroc? Can I see it? Luke asks. Maybe sometime. I say. But I do have a Rockium Z and a Lycanium Z for him as well. The Rockium Z is Continental Crush, and Ash got it after defeating the Akala Grand Trial, Lillie says. Yeah. I say as I decide to lean on the cliff until I feel some sand falling from above me. Hey Ash. I see that both Lillie and Luke seem to be panicking a little, and I ask, what's wrong? You up there, Lillie says as she points above me, and I look up and quickly jump out of the way. What the hell? It is a giant Kingler. Oh, wait, Kingler has a long body, but this one is very round. That is a Cloth. But look at that size. No wonder it is a Titan, Lillie says. Anyway, we need to try and defeat it. Lillie, help me out, I say. Of course. Lillie says. I'll help too, Luke says. We send out Floatzel, Clodsire, and Bronzong to battle the Pokemon, and it immediately goes for a block attack. Looks like all of us can't escape now. I say. Maybe we should Terrastalize, Lillie says as the three of us use our Terra Orbs. Floatzel is the water type, as it has a water splash on top of its head. Clodsire is a ground type, and it has an island, and Bronzong is steel, which has a giant axe on top. Floatzel goes for the Aqua Jet, but it is stopped by Vice Grip as it is stuck in his claws. Clodsire uses Mud Bomb to cover the eyes, freeing Floatzel. Thanks, Lillie. I say. No problem, Lillie says. Luke has Bronzong use Euroball, but just as it connects, it is sent flying with the Rock Smash. Whirlpool. I yell, and Floatzel growls and starts to create a giant whirlpool that sends the Titan Pokemon flying. Lillie yells, Ash, you have overdone it, I'm sorry, I think the whirlpool tosses him in that direction. Let's go, I say. The three of us recall our Pokemon and quickly get to where the Titan is. It's a good thing that Rotom has already recorded the Titan on the map, so we manage to track it down. The Cloth is using Rock Smash to reveal a cave, and it seems to grab some sort of plant. Is that the Herba Mystica? Luke asks. That Cloth is eating it, I say as we stare at it. Arvin finally arrives and he asks, Ash, Lillie, Luke, you found it? It's right there. Lillie points at the Cloth, and Arvin also seems to be shocked. And that thing's the Stony Cliff Titan. No Cloth has got any business being that big. Is it gonna be even stronger now, after eating those herbs? But I think the four of us can take it on. I say. We just have to do this together. Arvin joins in the fight by sending out Shelter to battle. Well, this is looking a little rough. Shelter, let's serve up a helping of defeat, on the half shell. I have Floatzel use Hydro Pump, and it deals some damage, but Cloth uses Rock Tomb and traps all four of our Pokemon into small spaces until it uses Rock Smash to deal a lot of damage. Oh no. Lillie says, what are we going to do now? I stare at the cloth, but it seems to be poisoned. I say, Lillie, Clodsire has poison point. Cloth is poisoned. Now it is only a matter of time before we defeat the Titan, Arvin says as he uses water gun, while Bronzong uses Gyro Ball. After dealing more damage, Cloth suddenly glows as its stats are raising. Luke says, the ability Anger Shell. It is a shell smash as an ability. Then it means its attack is boosted and so is the speed, Lillie says. We decide to continue to attack until I yell, Floatzel, finish with Wave Crash. I use the final move and eventually knock out the cloth, and it is then that the Pokémon start to decrease in size until it is back to normal. Is that it? Lillie asks. I guess so. Then I take out a Dusk Ball and throw it at the cloth, capturing it. Cloth. The ambush Pokémon. Rock type. Cloth hangs upside down from cliffs, waiting for prey. But Cloth can't remain in this position for long because its blood rushes to its head. All right. Look at my buddies, coming through like a champ, Arvin says. But these Titan Pokémon are. Yeesh. I sure don't like having something so tough out to get me. We notice the cave and Luke says, I bet somewhere in here there's more of that herba mystica the Titan was eating. You're right. Let's have a look around, I say as we enter the cave. The cave is really dark, as we barely can see anything, but at the end of the cave, we are shocked to see a lot of plants in front of us. Arvin gasps, no way. These are one of the herba mystica. It's exactly how it looked in the book. You're right, Lillie says. I decide to pick a leaf and taste it, and it feels so sweet. This is sweet, like candy. Arvin picks one and yells, yes. We actually found one. And it's all thanks to you, Ash, Lillie, and Luke. He opens the book. Now then, let's see. What does the book have to say? It says here that the sweet herba mystica is good for gut health and that it helps aid digestion. Says it's great for stomachaches, too, or when you want to stimulate the old appetite. Then I hear him muttering, now if I can just get him to eat some. Did you say something? Luke asks. All right, now it's my turn to show off what I can do. You're about to get a taste of my cooking, Arvin says. Maybe we can help as well. Since there are 4 of us, we should also make them for our Pokémon as well, I say. Fine. Arvin says as we start to prepare the sandwiches, and once we finish a bunch of them, Arvin says, an Arvin original sandwich packed full of herbs. And I'll even give you guys a badge. You know, as a thank you for taking on that Titan Pokémon. I called it a Titan badge. Made it myself, using a replica of the gym badges, see? And then we get a new badge, also with Rotom taking picture of us with the herb sandwich. And looks like if Arvin is going to give us badges, that means we're going to get 18 badges and I already get 2 of them. While we're eating, both Koraidon and Miraidon appear from their Pokeballs and they seem like they also want to have some sandwiches. Arg. What's up with those things? They just come out of their balls on their own whenever they want. Arvin groans. They probably want some sandwiches as well. Lillie says as she notices that Koraidon is sniffing at the sandwiches in Lillie's hands. Hey now. No, that's not for you, Arvin says. That's fine. I say as I break the sandwich in half. Here you go, Miraidon. Lillie does the same thing to Koraidon, and both of them manage to gobble them down. Arvin mutters, hey. I went through all the trouble of making that for you, and you just give it away. I hope you realize that's all there was, so now there's none left for you. It's fine, we already know how to make them, we can just make these on our own after all, Lillie says. Ah, come on, now you're making me feel like I'm the selfish jerk here, Arvin mutters. Just then, we see that both Koraidon and Miraidon start to glow a little, and then they start to rush outside of the cave and entering it again. Hey, be careful with these herba mysticas, Luke says. But look at that speed. They can dash now, I say. Wah. Hey, is it me or has this thing sort of powered up somehow? Arvin asks. We all saw it as well, I say. Whoa, I can't believe it, the power of these herbs really is worth guarding. Arvin cheers. If they had that big an effect on your Pokémon, then I bet. Bet what? Lillie asks. I bet it'll come in super handy for that treasure hunt assignment we've got. Arvin says. Yup. That's what I bet. For some reason, I still think that he's trying to hide something. Well, all of you filled your bellies with some of my legendary sandwiches. Guess it's time to tidy everything up. Lillie, Luke, and I decide to help with the table, but Arvin says, "Oh, don't you worry about helping. After battling the Titan, you've earned a break. Just leave all this to me, though I'd be much obliged if you'd get a start on searching out the remaining 4 Herba Mystica for us." We nod as we leave the cave, also bringing a bag full of the sweet Herba Mystica away. Arvin waves his hand at us. "I really owe you." Once he makes sure that we are actually gone, he sighs, "Okay. The coast is clear." He takes out a Pokeball and says, "You can come out now." When we head outside, we get a call from Professor Sada. She says, "Hello, Ash and Lillie. This is Sada. I detect that both Koraidon and Miraidon have regained some of their original powers. It seems like they will now be able to dash at high speeds while you're riding upon them." "Yeah. We did see that power," I say. "I hope you will continue to explore Paldea with Koraidon and Miraidon, as you have done here. Your route is not fixed but open before you," Sada says. "Seek out your own path, using your map and the tools you have at hand. Whenever you find your curiosity piqued, you should go and explore as your heart desires. All that you experience will help you grow in some way, great or small. Go forth on your journey. And take good care of Koraidon and Miraidon for us." After ending the call, Lillie says, "I guess we didn't register both Koraidon and Miraidon in our Pokédex yet, so they must have detected through it." "Yeah," I say as we head back to school. Monday. "Here you go. This is what we're making for the whole Sunday," I say as I and Lillie put 4 cups of pudding in front of our friends. Raychiu says, "Are those puddings?" "Yeah, we made it from scratch." Lillie says, "Thanks to the sweet herbal mystica, we managed to make more flavor for it." Nimona says, "I thought that Arvin was just sprouting nonsense, but to think that it is actually real. And we also capture the Titan. Only that it's not the Titan anymore," I say as I send out cloth, with Lillie giving it the sandwich. "We also gave some to our teachers for their nice teachings before we come to you," Lillie says, "and they all like it, so try them." When Nimona is the first one, she gasps, "Wow, this is so sweet." Drandon says, "You're right, it is very delicious. So this is the power of the Herba Mystica." "I know." I chuckle. "We're going to have Professor Jack's class next, right?" "Yeah. We're going to continue talking about Pokemon eggs." Nimona says, "Have you guys ever take care of an egg before?" Lillie says, "Of course." She pets Snowy and says, "We hatched Snowy's egg together." The Vulpix just smiles at her and I say, "Yeah, and during my travels, I also get some eggs and hatch them as well." "I remember you told us that you hatched a Larvitar," Luke says. "And you also said that Larvitar could feel everything around him even though it is still in the egg and that's why he has been traumatized." "Seriously?" Drandon asks. "Yeah, poacher problem, but don't worry, they're already dealt with," I say. "By the way, can you tell us how do you meet your Pikachu?" Raychiu asks. "Of course," I say as I remember everything about my meeting with Pikachu. "I woke up late the day I was supposed to go to Professor Oak's laboratory to obtain my first Pokemon. When I arrived at the lab, the 3 available starter Pokemon, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, had already been taken by other trainers who had arrived on time. Professor Oak noticed my disappointment and gave me a Pikachu, and he refused to listen and care for me at first, constantly zapping him and anyone else nearby. He refused to go into his Pokeball, and when I failed to catch a Pokemon, he laughed at me. However, I gained Pikachu's trust by protecting him from an attack by a flock of angry Spearow. And in return, Pikachu defended me from the Spearow as well. We became inseparable friends." "Wow. That was a nice story," Nimona says. "Yeah, you two really have a special bond," Raychiu says. "Thanks," I say as I rub Pikachu's fur. "And how did you two first meet?" Raychiu asks Lillie, and Lillie smiles a little. "We met in the Alola region. I was careless when a Tauros was about to hit me. Ash quickly pushed me out of the way." "Why would a Tauros hit you?" Drandon asks. "Our classmates in Alola were having a race," I say. And Lillie was lost in deep thoughts, and back then she also couldn't touch Pokemon. "Couldn't touch Pokemon? How did it happen?" Nimona asks in horror. "But you're touching Pokemon fine." "Yeah, and it is also thanks to Ash and my brother," Lillie says with a smile. Tuesday. Today, Professor Time gave us a lesson about how to do smart shopping in math class. She did ask us a tricky question about when using $2,000 to buy Pokeballs, how many we can get. The answer was not 10 but 11 because we can get an additional primer ball. That is a really cheap question. And we learn more about the giant crater of Paldea in the history class, and how Professor Rayford told us that nobody at that time would go there. After class, we decide to do some Terra raid battles until I find a fairy-type den. I call Lillie, Raychiu, and Drandon to help, but when we peek inside, we find that it is a Pokemon that consists of 2 white mice. That's Tandemaeus, Raychiu says. This Pokemon is also strong. Are you telling me that 2 make 1 Pokemon? Lillie asks. This is just like Phalanx. When we try to lower its health by attacking, it goes for a move that hits freaking 10 times in a row. What was that? I thought moves like Bullet Seed or Rock Throw can only hit up to 5 times. This attack hit 10 times, I yell. That's Population Bomb. The Tandemouse's evolution line's signature move, Drandon yells. Each attack only has 20 power, so don't worry, Raychiu says. I decide to terrestrialize Pikachu, and this time it gives out the Steel type, with the giant axe on top of his head. I smile. Good, Pikachu. Iron Tail now. Pikachu manages to slam the tail on the Pokemon and I use the chance to throw a Pokeball, capturing it. Tandemaeus. The couple Pokemon. Normal type. Exhibiting great teamwork, they use their incisors to cut pieces out of any material that might be useful for a nest, then make off with them. I wonder how 2 of them get inside 1 Pokeball though, Lillie asks. Who knows? I mutter. Wednesday, after battling class, Lillie and I decide to walk around the town to buy some bread for snacks. And when we walk into the bakery, we notice some Pokemon lying on the counters. They're so cute, Lillie says as we look at the puppy Pokemon. I ask the staff, what is this Pokemon? Ah, I'm glad you ask, World Monarch Ash. These are Fido. They have been working in the bakery for a long time. The staff says. Their yeast in their breath is good at fermenting our dough. That's why they have been helping us in the bakery. That is so cool. Where can we catch this Pokemon? Lillie asks. They usually gather close to Los Platos. You can try to find them there, the staff member says. After getting 3 loaves of bread and bidding farewell to the staff member, we all head to Los Platos and we also notice some Igglybuff, Ralts, and eventually, Fido, on the road. All of them are fairy-type Pokemon. I never knew there are so many fairy types here. And here is what we're for. Fido. I say. Maybe we can make some sandwiches with the bread we have here for Fido. That's a good idea, Lillie says as we start a picnic. And while we're making sandwiches, a Fido is curious as he joins Pikachu and Snowy to watch what we're doing. Once we share the sandwich with all the Pokemon, the same Fido that was curious about us decided to join our team. Fido. The puppy Pokemon. Fairy type. This Pokemon is smooth and moist to the touch. Yeast in Fido's breath induces fermentation in the Pokemon's vicinity. We got a Fido. This is awesome, Lillie says. You really like fairy type Pokemon, Lillie. I smile. I also like ice types, just so you know, Lillie replies to me. I know. But I wonder what will Fido evolve into. I say. But it is getting a little late, we should return as soon as possible. You're right. We don't want to let others worry, Lillie says. When we all go back to the dorm, we find that everyone is already in the meeting room waiting for us. Each floor of the dorm has a meeting room, and since all of us live in the same floor, so the meeting room is also where we would gather every day. So got any new Pokemon? Luke asks. We got a Fido. I say. Lillie seems to like this Pokemon a lot. I see. Raychiu says, Fido is also a popular Pokemon in this region. Yeah. Anyway, who's up with the game? Drandon asks and we grin at one another. Thursday, Professor Hazel is showing us the terrestrialize icons by using his Gibble. I don't know why he would use Gibble because they often munch on things that cause troubles, but it is thanks to his class that we learn a lot about the type and the meanings behind the icons. After class, we decide to head back to the dorm and do our homework, and just when I finish my homework, I hear a door knocking and the speed means that it might be an emergency. I open the door and find Lillie. Lillie? What's wrong? I ask. Ash, Tandemaeus. They have children, Lillie yells. Pikachu and I jump in shock as Lillie shows me the Pokemon. Now there are 4 mice instead of 2, and neither one of them wants to separate from one another. What the hell is going on? Your voices are getting a little too loud. Raychiu and Nemona walk towards us, and Nemona notices the Pokemon in Lillie's hands. Oh, your Tandemaeus evolve into Maushold. Maushold? Lillie and I look at each other with confusion. Maushold. Family of 4. The family Pokemon. Normal type. Evolve from Tandemaeus at LV. 25. The 2 little ones just appeared one day. The group might be a family of related Pokemon, but nobody knows for sure. But there is no evolution sequence. Lillie says, this is really weird. I know. Raychiu says. But Maushold has its own move Tidy Up. It just gets rid of things like stealth rocks, spikes, or substitutes. It is also a good move to use. But this says that it is a family of 4. I wonder if we will be able to find one with a family of 3, I say. Hold on, you mean one is not enough? Nemona asks. It was never enough for Ash. Lillie says. His great record is the 63 Alchemy in the Galar region, and then 20 Vivians. He once have 30 Tauros, but 29 of them are traded away. You've gotta be kidding me. You have to be really rich if you're going to do this, Nemona says. Well, my family is rich after all. And Lillie is the same, I say as we chuckle. Guess that all 6 of us come from rich families, Raychiu says. Friday. After the house economic class, we decide to train our Fido and let it evolve with the help of Gengar. Gengar is still the same as he likes to do pranks on us, but once Fido evolves, it has become like baked bread. Doxbun. The dog Pokemon. Fairy type. Evolve from Fido at LV. 26. The pleasant aroma that emanates from this Pokemon's body helps wheat grow, so Doxbun has been treasured by farming villages. Now use Will-O-Wisp. I yell at Gengar, and Gengar tries to attack, but just then, the move doesn't work, and suddenly, Doxbun raises 2 stages of defense. Lillie checks the Pokédex and says, Doxbun's ability is Well-Baked Body. The Pokemon takes no damage when hit by Fire-type moves. Instead, its defense stat is sharply boosted. Seriously. This really changes a lot. I mutter, but I think that's interesting. A lot of new Pokemon and a lot of new moves really give us a lot of things to try out. Yeah. Lillie says as we continue training. Lillie and I aren't very interested in club activities in weekends, however, Drandon is joining the Dragon Club and Raychiu is attending the Dancing Club. So Luke continues to be with us as we head to Artazan City. Artazan City's gym leader specializes in Grass-type Pokemon. How about we talk about grass types this time? Luke asks. Sure, I mean, grass-type Pokemon are also amazing in some way. I say. My strongest grass-type Pokemon in my team. I think I'm going with Sceptile. My Sceptile can actually defeat a Darkrai in battle. Oh yeah, we did get some research about your previous league battles. Your Sceptile is really amazing. Luke says. If you have that kind of power, I wonder what will happen if it Mega Evolves. I also wonder about that as well, since you only got a Keystone last year, Lillie says. Maybe it will be able to overpower my Greninja. I chuckle. But anyway, some of my grass-type Pokemon are also affectionate, like my Meganium, but they also make great leaders as well. I know that some of your grass types are leaders in some way, like Venusaur and Torterra. Lillie says. But Decidueye is not the case. Just after he evolves he doesn't change his sleeping habit. I shake my head. But you have to admit that the Z-move Bloom Doom is really powerful when he uses it. Though I'm still sorry for him that he lost the Everstone that causes him to evolve. Lillie sighs. But he is now a Ghost type as well. Ghost type and also capable of using Spirit Shackle. He has been training hard for that move, I say. Do you also have any troublesome grass-type Pokemon? Luke asks. Not really, but we do have a Gourgeist who likes to prank others, I say as we finally arrive at Artazan. Wow. This is Artazan. Look at all the flowers here, Lillie says. And is that a Sunflora statue? But it looks depressing, I say. That's Surrendering Sunflora, an artwork made by the famous artist Brassius, Luke says. I think I heard about this name from Professor Hassel, I say. Though I wonder what the Sunflora are surrendering to. Maybe Professor Hassel will be able to tell us soon in the class. That will be great if he does, Lillie says. And as we continue to walk around the city, we also notice some statues called the Harvest made by Brassius, and also some mazes, and even a sunflower lawn. When we finally arrive at the gym building, we enter the building and also find Nimona there. Via, Ash, Lillie, and Luke as well, Nimona says. It's so wild that we ended up randomly visiting the same gym at the same time, again. What a weird coincidence. Are you sure you're not following us? Lillie asks. Of course not. I swear I'm not just sneaking ahead of you so I can lie in wait and go. Oh wow, weird. Might as well as battle now that you're here. I stare at her, and she starts to blush and panic. No, seriously. Look, to prove it, I won't even challenge you to a battle this time, much as I'd like to. We already battle in class a lot of times, now, Nimona, I say. And I'm sure that you'll be 100% set to go no problem, Nimona says. I'll be cheering for ya. I'll go train, like, maybe 20 Pokemon or so while you tackle the gym. Then she quickly flees from the site, and Luke says, she is weird. But that makes her who she is. And she is right about that. If she really stalked us, she would have come with us to the Titan battle last week because of how dangerous it is. I say with a chuckle, and Lillie stares at me with a slight jealousy. When we get to the counter, the staff says, welcome to the Artisan Gym. Let me register you as a challenger. Your name is Ash Ketchum, yes? Of course. I let the Rotom phone register my ID in the applications, and then the staff says, great, now, in order to face gym leader Brassius, you'll first need to pass the gym test. Wait, so the famous artist Brassius is the gym leader of this city. That's interesting, though I wonder what kind of Pokemon he's going to use. Here at the Artisan Gym, that means completing a game of Sunflora hide and seek. Sunflora hide and seek. I repeat after the staff, so that means I'm going to play this hide and seek with the Sunflora? As you may know, Artisan is a city of artists. The artwork made by the people here is largely inspired by nature and the sun that nurtures it. Since Sunflora embody these concepts, we try to gather them and take good care of them. Your job today is to find the Sunflora located throughout Artisan. Wait, throughout Artisan? This place is a giant city. I mutter with shock and horror. Remember, these Pokemon look like sun-shaped flowers. Gather up 10 of them and bring them to the Sunflora lawn, and you pass the test. I'll register the Sunflora lawn's location in your map app to get you started. When you leave the gym, turn right and you'll see 2 large Sunflora statues. Head for those. Once you're at the lawn's entrance, show the permit and the staffer there will tell you more about the gym test. Now get out there and have fun. When we get out of the gym, Lillie says, finding 10 Sunflora in the whole city. This is going to be really hard for Ash to complete. I know, Luke says, but that is also very interesting. When we get to the Sunflora lawn, we find the staff member and show the permit. She says, hi there, I look after the Artisan Gym's Sunflora. I hope you're ready, challenger. It's time for a game of Sunflora hide and seek. I'll go ahead and ask the Sunflora to spread themselves out around town. Just then, we see that all 10 Sunflora are standing at the gateway, and then they all flee the lawn and go anywhere. Just the sight causes Lillie and I to open our mouths wide because the Sunflora can be anywhere in the city. Sounds like the Sunflora are ready for you. With that, your gym test has now begun. Once you've found 10 Sunflora, please bring them back here to the Sunflora lawn. That's all from me. Now, good luck out there. After the staff finishes, I say, Lillie, Luke, I'm sorry, but this is my gym test and I don't think I will pass if I get your help. It's fine, we wish you the best of luck. I think we can find some Tandemaeus here and I want to try evolving it into a 3-family Maushold, Lillie says. Okay. I nod as we separate for a while. Luke and Lillie are probably going to East Province Area 1 to find a Tandemaeus to evolve into a Maushold, and I start my search for the Sunflora. Pikachu and I decide to search around the city and find some Sunflora, and I manage to find one hiding underneath the slide at the playground. It seems like it wants to play the slide here. After finding the first one, it starts to follow me, and then the second one, the third one, and the fourth one also follow. Just great. These Sunflora can hide literally anywhere. I mutter as I head inside an alleyway, and much to my delight, a Sunflora is hiding behind a barrel. It's a good thing that they are not inside people's houses. I say as I notice a Sunflora watching a surrendering Sunflora statue, So now I already have 6 Sunflora already. After continue searching, I find one trying to act like a statue by hiding its legs in the soil of the flower pot, but it can't fool me. And now I decide to rest on the bench since I've already run around and I'm getting a little tired. A boy walks towards me and asks, "You're a gym challenger, right? Here you go." The boy gives me a bottle of fresh water. I smile and take it. "Thanks, it helps." "You're welcome. You have 7 Sunflora already. Don't give up and find the rest of the 3 more Sunflora," the boy says before running off. I smile as people here in Artisan are very friendly, although it won't be possible to ask for directions because of the rules of the gym. After some rest, I decide to continue searching for the other Sunflora. I decide to search in the maze and just my luck, I can find the 3 Sunflora inside the maze, but the maze is a little confusing, as it takes me some time to get out of the place. During this Sunflora hide and seek, some of the Sunflora want to battle us before coming with us, and it is thanks to Gengar that they managed to follow us. Once we head back to the Sunflora lawn, I can see Lillie and Luke waiting for us. Lillie walks towards me and hands me the mango-flavored ice cream. "Looks like you're having a really hard time getting the Sunflora." "Yeah, but I'm grateful that some of the townspeople gave me the fresh water. It helps me keep moving," I say while tasting the ice cream. After the Sunflora scatter onto the lawn, the staff says, "Well done on finding all these Sunflora. You passed the gym test with flying colors. Now please head back to the lobby at the Artisan Gym to report your result." "Yeah, but I want to take a break first." I chuckle as we decide to rest in the gym seats. "So did you get the Moushold that you're looking for?" "You bet," Lillie says as she shows me the 3 mice one. Moushold. Family of 3. The family Pokemon. Normal type. Evolved from Tandemaeus at LV. 25. The little one just appeared one day. They all live together like a family, but the relationship between the 3 is still unclear. And I finally get to see the evolution glow. Lillie says, "I thought it would be something else, but the bright light just blinds everything to let me see what happened." "Never thought you were some sort of pervert," I say, causing Lillie to blush red and smack me in the elbow. "Baka," she mutters to me. After taking a rest, we go to the staff and inform her about the process. "It seems you successfully gathered 10 Sunflora and brought them over to the Sunflora lawn. That means you've cleared the gym test. Congratulations. You've now earned the right to challenge the gym leader. Best of luck." He gives me the second permit, the one that is used for the gym leaders, and she says, "The gym leader Brassius, the verdant virtuoso, would be at the windmill at the center of the city, so head there if you're ready to challenge him." "That doesn't seem hard at all," I say as we leave the gym and head to the windmill so I can finally start my second gym battle. Lillie, Luke, and I are now at the windmill in the center of Artisan City, and there is already a battlefield, which I assume will be the place where I battle the gym leader. "Greetings, challenger." We hear the voice and we decide to find where it comes from. "Ash." Up there, Lillie points and I realize that the man is actually standing on top of the windmill pane. It's a good thing that the windmill isn't moving, but that was really dangerous. He just jumps to the ground without any problem, and he says, "You did well to come this far. Ash Ketchum, the world monarch. I am Brassius, an artist specializing in grass-type Pokemon. I am also the gym leader here at the Artisan Gym." "Why would you stand so high up there?" I ask. "I was observing your gym test from atop the windmill, you know," Brassius says. "The perception you displayed in finding Sunflora was truly, oh, how shall I describe it? Yes, it was truly avant-garde." The way he speaks really surprises me a lot, but he continues, "I only pray that you might demonstrate that eye for beauty in our battle as well. Enough talk. We must begin creating our collaborative work of art." We are now standing on both sides of the battlefield, and the referee also comes. The battle between the Artisan Gym leader Brassius and the challenger Ash Ketchum is about to begin. Each trainer will be using 6 Pokemon, and when one loses all 6 Pokemon, the other trainer wins. "I trust that you are ready. It is time for our masterpiece to take shape." He sends out his first Pokemon, which is a Lilligant, and he is also holding some sort of whip in his hands. I hope that he isn't going to use it to whip his Pokemon. Masquerain. I choose you. I decide to use my bug type for the first move, and I can see that Lillie is also surprised at my decision. Art is creation and destruction, struggle, Else your defeat will nourish my Pokemon. Lilligant decides to go with the light screen to set up the field. And I have Masquerain use Air Cutter, landing a critical hit. But Lilligant uses Quiver Dance to also raises the special attack, special defense, and even the speed. Masquerain. Let's lower the special defenses. Use Bug Buzz, I command, and Brassius says, counter with Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam already. Brassius sure isn't holding back on me, and much to my horror, the Hyper Beam manages to overpower my Bug-type attack, and thus Masquerain falls to the ground. Masquerain. Return for now. I decide to switch out as Masquerain takes a lot of damage from the attack. Gengar. I choose you. Gengar appears in the field and Lillie says, with Gengar, Lilligant's Hyper Beam won't be able to work now. That sure is a smart move. Luke says. Use Petal Blizzard. When Lilligant attacks with the Grass-type move, I smile and say, hide in the shadow and then use Sludge Bomb. Gengar dodges by going into the shadows, and when it comes out, it blasts the attack on Lilligant, causing it to get poisoned. Now that's what I'm talking about. Finish with Ice Punch. Gengar steps in front of the Pokemon and punches it, knocking the Lilligant out. Not bad. Scovillain, you're next, Brassius says. I jump as I see the second Pokemon. It is a two-headed Pokemon with their heads looking like peppers. Lillie says, Scovillain. What's with that Pokemon? It is a grass and fire-type Pokemon. Ash might be in trouble, Luke says. Scovillain goes for Sunny Day, setting up the weather, and then it goes for Solar Beam to make the move charge fast and deal damage to Gengar. Gengar. Are you okay? Gengar nods at me, and I say, good, use Shadow Ball. Gengar tries to attack with the Ghost move, but just as Scovillain is hit, Brassius says, let's see how you handle this. Spicy Extract. As the move hits, Gengar's attack stat boosts a lot but the defense stat also lowers, much to my confusion. If you're helping me with raising the attack stat, then thanks. I say as I have Gengar use Ice Punch again, but Brassius smirks, now that is an art that I will like to finish. Zen Headbutt. I widen my eyes, and Gengar is hit by the attack and immediately gets knocked out. Gengar. No, I rush to him and recall him. Lillie says, so that was his intention. Lowering Gengar's defense so that it can defeat Gengar with a super effective move. I decide to call back Masquerain, and I look at the sun. Let's change the weather. Rain Dance. When the rain is set up, Scovillain goes for Zen Headbutt again, which makes Masquerain flinch. Flinching? This is not going to be good. I mutter, use Air Cutter. Dodge it and use Sunny Day, Brassius says, the sun and the rain. They create a beautiful rainbow, and now use Solar Beam to end it. I'm not going to give up, you know, Hydro Pump. Both attacks manage to create a giant explosion, which causes both Pokemon to get inside. In the end, we see that both Pokemon are knocked out of the battle. Luke says, so it's a draw. Both of them lose 2 Pokemon. Brassius says, marvelous. I can see you're a natural artist. However, let's see how you handle this. His third Pokemon is Breloom, and I decide to go for Corviknight. Mach Punch. Brassius starts the first move, and Breloom manages to punch Corviknight with quick speed. I have Corviknight use Steel Wing, and it continues to slash the Breloom until it goes for Spore to make Corviknight fall asleep. Are you kidding me? Corviknight? Wake up now, I yell. But as Corviknight is sleeping, Brassius says, let the Thunder Punch decorate our sleeping masterpiece. Breloom continues to use the super effective move on Corviknight, and I was worried if Corviknight can't take it. Corviknight, I yell, and it finally wakes up and goes for the Drill Peck, dealing a lot of damage. Seed Bomb. Use Aerial Ace. Both of our attacks collide with each other, and eventually, my attack overpowers the Breloom and knocks it out. Nice job, Corviknight, I say to my Pokemon. Well done, my fourth Pokemon is going to be Sarina. When the fourth Pokemon appears, it goes for a high jump kick and knocks out Corviknight, much to my frustration. Lillie says, Sarina is not an easy Pokemon to beat. I know. It's a good thing Mallow used this Pokemon before. I then have Gallade out to battle, and Gallade goes for the Psycho Cut that deals a lot of damage. Play rough. Are you kidding me? This Pokemon has a Fairy-type move? And I can see that my Gallade is taking a lot of damage. Gallade, calm down and go for Aerial Ace, use Trop Kick. Both attacks manage to clash at each other as they all jump out of the way to avoid more damage, and then Gallade goes for close combat. After several times, Sarina is eventually defeated. You know, just by using the 4 battles, I can already see a lot of inspiration in it. However, I will like to see you show more of it with my Arboliva. The 5th Pokemon is a Pokemon with a lot of olives on the arm. I have to guess this is the evolution of Smoliv, but it is perfect. It is also a normal type. Close combat, I yell, and just as the attack hits, I see that some seeds come from the body of the Pokemon and land on the ground, creating a grassy terrain. Grassy terrain? Lillie asks. That's the ability Seed Sower, Luke says. And just as Arboliva uses Leech Seed, I widen my eyes in horror as it defeats Gallade with the seeds and the terrain pulse. Sometimes I hate Leech Seed. I mutter as I send out Maushold to battle. Lillie asks, "You're using Maushold?" "Of course, I'm going to give these new Pokemon a try," I say. Maushold goes for Population Bomb, and it keeps striking Arboliva, although it just hit 8 times this time. Then it goes for Energy Ball, which is boosted by the terrain. "Hang in there, Maushold. Beat up," I yell. Since technically, the Pokemon that we carry right now are mine and Lillie's, so that means the move hits 12 times, and eventually Arboliva is defeated. This has promise. Yes. Let us lead this artistic endeavor to its conclusion at once. He sends out Sudowoodo as the last Pokemon. Sudowoodo. That's a rock type, Luke says. Maybe not after what he's going to do, I say. Allow me to touch this work up slightly. I will call it Truliwoodo. Truliwoodo. Really? And I can see that he already uses the Terra Orb and terrestrialize his Sudowoodo to a grass type. And it uses Stone Edge to defeat Maushold in the end. Pikachu, you're my final hope, I say. Pikachu jumps into the field and I decide to terrestrialize the Pokemon. I just hope that it is something that is against grass, but much to my horror, Pikachu's Terra type is now water. Water type? Are you kidding me right now, Pikachu? I yell, and Pikachu can only shrug as he doesn't know. At times, art becomes a race against the clock. Let us increase the pace. Trailblaze. This grass type move not only deals a lot of damage to Pikachu, but it also raises the speed. Ash is in trouble. Lillie gasps. Damn it. Pikachu, use Splishy Splash. I try to have Pikachu attack harder with the water move, and much to my delight, it causes Sudowoodo to get paralyzed. I decide to use the chance to continue attack. Iron Tail. Fire Punch. Both attacks clash with each other, and I decide to have Pikachu use Flaty Fall, eventually knocking the Sudowoodo out. Sudowoodo is unable to battle. Pikachu is the winner, which means the victory goes to Ash Ketchum. Finally, I sigh as Pikachu goes back to normal. Avant-garde. He recalls Sudowoodo. Oh, what artistic tactics you employ. The patterns of your moves. The minute details of your Pokemon's performance. Everything you did was honed to perfection. Our battle was, in a word, art. Indeed, if we could not call that a work of artistry, then nothing else in this world could be labeled as such. If I were to judge your work, I would say it passes my inspection. Yes, a pass without exception. He takes out the grass badge and says, as proof of your artistic prowess, you may have my gym badge. Shall we take a photo as well? Looks like every time I get a badge, Rotom will take pictures for us, and we decide to take a picture with the windmill as the background. You did it, Ash. I was really worried, Lillie says to me. Yeah, that was really awesome. Luke adds. Oh, my inspiration is overflowing, as if drawn from a bottomless well. I will begin on a new piece at once. You must excuse me. Farewell. Then we bid farewell to Brassius as we go to rest. The next day, Lillie gets her turn for the gym, and she only battles Lilligant, Arboliva, and Sudowoodo. Once we finish, we go back to the gym and we find Professor Hassel there. Professor Hassel? What are you doing here? I ask in shock. Well, if it isn't Ash, Lillie, and Luke, Hassel says. I was here to check the gyms. After all, I'm one of the Elite Four of the Pokemon League. Elite Four? Wait, you mean our art teacher is the Dragon-type Elite Four of this Paldea region? I ask. I know that he uses Dragon types a lot, but this information shocks me and Lillie. So tell me, Ash and Lillie, what compelled you to collect these gym badges and strive to be a champion? Hassel asks. It's obvious, we want to become stronger. Just because I'm the world monarch doesn't mean I am the strongest of everyone. I also want to learn, I say. And by doing the gym challenges, we can also find our treasure, Lillie says. Asked and answered. Thank you. Naturally, there is no single correct answer. All paths lead to the great crater of Paldea, as they say. You know, your friend Nimona is the youngest to achieve champion rank in all Paldean history. It is entirely possible that such great potential lies within you too as well. Before he leaves, he says, should you continue striving to reach champion rank, you will one day have to battle me. You would be wise to train hard starting now. It will save you from experiencing the bitter regret of defeat. Of course. I say. Oh, and do remember that you have the art homework that you need to finish, Hassel says. We've already finished them, thank you. I say as Hassel smiles before leaving. I think he's here just to talk to Brassius. What are the odds that we find Professor Hassel here, Luke says. Yeah. And learning that he is the Elite Four member, no wonder Drandon admires him a lot, I say. Monday. We're back. Lillie and I are back from Cortando Town, as we were asked by Professor Jack to attend the olive harvesting festival with the other students. Raisa says, harvesting olives are interesting, and to think that we use the olive to make the oils for the meals we have. Indeed. And I guess we also get a present as well, Lillie says while hugging the Smoliv in her hand. Smoliv. The olive Pokemon. Grass and normal type. It protects itself from enemies by emitting oil from the fruit on its head. This oil is bitter and astringent enough to make someone flinch. Well, we do get to see what an Arboliva looks like back in our gym battles, and I can't wait to see how it evolves, I say. Me too. Lillie says. I guess it is time for us to go to class. Let's go. Luke says. Tuesday. What? You guys are coming to Paldea region? Lillie is surprised. Of course, Lillie. We're going to see how you do in school and don't worry, it will only be me, Mon, and Gladian. Lusamine says. Gladian is going to come too. I thought he is going to Sinnoh to travel. Lillie yells at her. Well, sorry about that. But we'll see you on Wednesday. After that, Lillie ends the call with a sigh. As for me, I was training Smoliv with my Lycanroc, though everyone is looking at my training because my Lycanroc looks different from the others. So this is the Dusk form Lycanroc, Luke says. How did you evolve it? You just need to have a Rockruff with the own tempo ability and evolve it during dusk. That's how, I say. But that is really hard to achieve. A student tells me, yeah, that is only an hour. Guess I'm the lucky one. I chuckle, and I also notice that my Smoliv is evolving. It has become just like a doll made of olive. Dolliv. The olive Pokemon. Grass and normal type. Evolved from Smoliv at LV. 25. It basks in the sun to its heart's content until the fruits on its head ripen. After that, Dolliv departs from human settlements and goes on a journey. Looks like you're one step closer to having Arboliva, Nimona says. Yeah. I turn to Lillie, who just finished calling the phone. She rushes to me and panics. Ash, my family is coming tomorrow. What should I do? Wait, your family is coming? I ask in surprise. That's awesome. Why are you panicking about it? Did you forget how my mom acts? I don't want to embarrass myself in front of others. And Gladian is also here as well. Gladian. He's coming. I gasp. Who is Gladian? Drandon asks. My brother. Lillie says, I told you the other day before. Right, I'm sorry to forget about it, Drandon says. Anyway, I'm sure that nothing is going to be bad about them. Professor Mon probably can get your mother in check, I say. I hope so. Lillie mutters. Wednesday, Lillie and I ask Professor Dendra for our personal leave because Lillie's family is coming, and much to our surprise, she approves our leaving and we get to the airport as soon as possible with the help of Corydon and Miraidon. I remember that 3 weeks ago, we were worried that Corydon and Miraidon will cause a scene for the people of Paldea, but all of them just feel like it and they just think we have some special cyclizer. Lillie. It's so good to see you again. Lusamine gives Lillie the bear hug and Lillie is now blushing and muttering, Mother. This is really embarrassing. Lusamine, you should stop it. Lillie can't breathe if you continue to do that, Mon says. Gladian walks to me and says, Ash, Gladian. Nice to see you again. I smile, and Gladian also smiles back. Mon says, good to see you here as well, Ash. I hope that Lillie didn't give you a lot of trouble. Not at all, we have been helping each other a lot. I say. And I'm really grateful that you help us with the joint Pokédex. We do have some training with the new Pokémon. I will definitely like to see them. Lusamine says. By the way, what are those two behind you? Koraidon and Miraidon stare at the family and Lillie says, they are Koraidon and Miraidon. They are entrusted to us by Professor Sada and Professor Turo. Sada and Turo. Suddenly, we can see that both Lusamine and Mon's faces darkened. Gladian asks, Mother? Father? Sorry, but I think we should discuss it in private. Mon says. Anyway, aren't you going to show us your university? Of course. Lillie says as we all bring them to Neryuva University. Once we get there, we bring them to the director's office since they seem to know Director Clavel. Clavel. How are you? Mon shakes hands with him. Hello Mon. I heard that you've disappeared for years, though it seems you have returned to your family, Clavel says. Some accidents happened. Mon says. And thank you for taking care of Ash and Lillie in the school, we really appreciate it. Ah, both of them are very enthusiastic about learning, or that's what I heard from the other professors. Clavel says. Other than that, they also did a good job finding their own treasures in the school. Lusamine says, so the treasure hunt continues, I see. Lillie says, wait. Mom, Dad, you know Director Clavel personally? Lusamine says, of course, we have been classmates at this school. We also become researchers in the end, though I was surprised that you become the director of the school, Clavel. A lot of things happened, I just have this title for only 1.5 years. Clavel says while turning to Gladian, and it is also nice to see you again, Gladian. Director Clavel. Gladian nods and Lillie asks, wait, Gladian, you were also a student in this school before? Gladian sighs, I graduated a year ago. The director is nice enough to let me do distance learning. 2 years ago, the Paldea region suffered a plague, and I stayed at Alola, and the last year I was searching for father with you, and then finished the rest once we had that battle. I see. I nod. So the year in the Alola League you were still a student here. Gladian nods, and then we decide to take them to the dorm's meeting room, since the others are not here because they are doing the Terra raids. Lusamine and Mon decide to tell us something. I'm sure you are wondering how we know about Sada and Turo, right? Mon asks. We nod as Mon says, Sada and Turo are also our classmates like Clavel. We used to do a lot of research together. Lusamine says, instead of joining the Department of Pokemon battling like you three are, we are in the Science Department. Time and space are the projects that we were interested in. We wanted to create a space machine that can let us go through the ultra wormholes, exploring what is beyond our world. However, Sada and Turo want to create the time machine, so they can either go to the future or the past. Time and space. Now this is giving me Dialga and Palkia memories. But Solgaleo and Lunala are related to space, so I guess that Koraidon and Miraidon are related to time. We used to compete with each other about our process, but we are also best friends. Mon says. They were there on our wedding day, and we also attended theirs. However, for some reason, we weren't able to contact both of them. Lusamine says, and after that, Mon also disappeared because of the Nihilego incident. I thought that both Sada and Turo must have suffered the same thing as Mon. You said that you met them. Where are they now? I say, they are at Area 0, but were forbidden to enter the place because of school rules. They have our contact number in the Rotom phone, but for some reason, we can't contact them back. Gladian says, nobody knows what's inside the crater, so you said that Professor Turo and Professor Sada are in there, huh? I guess so. Lillie says. So this is the reason why you're here? Because you want to see if Professor Sada and Professor Turo are still alive? Lusamine says, well, we did come here to see Clavel again, but we're not here for a long stay. Mon says, indeed. We're just here to see how you are doing, and Ash. I turn to the professor, and he says, your mother and your sister will be coming to the Paldea region as well, though they have some business to attend in Rhoda that they couldn't come with us at the same time. Wonderful. I say in a sarcastic tone. I can't wait to see them again. Gladian says, by the way, care for a battle before we leave? Of course. I say as we all head to the plaza at Mesagoza. I use Pikachu while Gladian goes with Zoroark to battle. Zoroark. Night Days. Gladian goes for the dark type attack, but Pikachu counters with Thunderbolt. As we are battling, I notice that some of my friends are back and notice what we're doing. Lillie. Who is Ash battling? Drandon asks. That's my brother Gladian. Lillie replies while Zoroark and Pikachu are clashing with Shadow Claw and Iron Tail. Wait, you mean that guy is Gladian? Nimona gasps. He was one of the top graduates in the Department of Pokemon Battling. Seriously? Raisa asks. I guess so. Lillie's sweat drops. Gladian shows the Terra Orb and says, it has been a while since I used this. But Zoroark. Terrastalize now. I see that Gladian's Zoroark is having a ghost on top of the head, meaning that its Terra type is Ghost. I also do the same to Pikachu, only it has a diamond on the head, meaning it's normal. Looks like we couldn't use our strongest moves together now. I say. Normal and Ghost. Both attacks can't hit each other. Just my luck. Gladian says, Night Days again. Use Knock Off, I yell, and Pikachu charges forward and slams at Zoroark, causing a lot of damage, but the Night Days is also doing a lot of damage to Pikachu as well. Thunderbolt. Dark Pulse. We both yell at the same time, and both Pokemon attack until both sides are hit back and knocked out at the end. Looks like we have a draw. I say after picking Pikachu up. You're still the same. Gladian smiles back after recalling Zoroark. Ash. Did you just have a draw with him? Drandon asks. Just because I'm a world monarch doesn't mean I can't lose any battles. I sigh. But Pikachu did give his best. Gladian is one of my best rivals. Lillie says, indeed. I know for sure that his strength won't lose to Ash. Snowy also nod in agreement. Then I introduce all my friends to Gladian, and he also greets them before he leaves with Lusamine and Mon as they are going to return to Alola. And now I'm going to be worried since my mom might be coming tomorrow with my sister. Thursday. You can kill me if you want, but you won't be able to get anything from me. I glare at the person in front of me, as my hands are tied and I'm kneeling in front of him. Blood comes from my mouth and I was kicked to the ground. And cut. That was marvelous. I turn to see my senior Elaine clapping and saying, nice acting skills you have here, Ash. I sigh as I wipe the ketchup from my face, only for Pikachu to snatch the tissue and do who knows what. The person who acted with me, a senior named Nate, says, indeed. Who knows that you have such a talent for acting? It has been 2 weeks since I joined the drama club, and my skills in acting are being given high regard by my seniors. When we joined the school, Director Clavel asks us to attend a club so that we won't always be focusing on our studies and relaxing. Both of us decide to join the drama club on Thursdays and the mythical Pokemon club on Tuesdays. There are a lot of people in the drama club, but the most notable members are Elaine, the club president, and Nate, the vice club president. I know, I say. I did get some training in the past. Lillie says, Ash's sister is also a famous movie star. I guess acting really runs in the family. Is that so? Nate smiles. After the club activities are over, we decide to train our Pokemon, and we manage to get Dolliv to evolve into Arboliva. Arboliva. The olive Pokemon. Evolve from Dolliv at LV 35. This Pokemon drives back enemies by launching its rich, aromatic oil at them with enough force to smash a boulder. Once we finish training, we decide to take a rest in the dorm, and I see that Arceus come out of his Pokeball on his own again. So tomorrow you're going to meet your family this time, Arceus says. Yeah, but what Professor Mon and Ms. Lusamine told me yesterday really gets me thinking. Time travel is possible when you have Celebi or Dialga help you out. But will science be able to do that as well? That sure is an interesting question. Humans have been creating a lot of technology, and sometimes I am really amazed by them. Arceus says. However, when the Ether family opened the Ultra Wormhole, it causes some problems with the Ultra Beasts roaming in the Alola region. If the time travel happens and causes Pokemon from the ancient past or the vast future to come to this era, what are you going to do? Koraidon and Miraidon are two of the Pokemon that fits the description of your words. I say, and I promise that we're going to take care of both of them. If there are more out there, maybe we should send them back to their own world. I see. Arceus says. Friday, when we are at the airport once again, It's a good thing that we don't have any classes since we just finished home economics. We find my mother and my sister coming to us. Ash, it is so great to see you again. My sister comes to me and hugs me. I smile and say, hello, sis. I heard that you finished filming a new movie. How is it? It's fine. My sister says, and it is nice to see you again, Lillie. Hello to you, Diantha. Lillie bows. My mom also comes and says, Ash, so how is your school doing? It's doing great, Mom. I say. I heard from Lillie's parents that you have some business in Rhoda. What did Eileen want? That's why we're here to discuss this. Diantha says. How about showing us to your dorm room? Maybe it will be better if we talk there. We nod as we all head back to school, and now we're in my dorm room. My mom says, I thought it would be messy, but you did a good job tidying up your room. I say, I'm not the old me who always keeps my room messy and sometimes fell to the floor because of it. So what are you going to talk about? My mom suddenly gives a stern tone and says, Ash, do you remember the day when you have crowned the Prince of Rhoda? Of course, I remember. That was a week after I become the world monarch. I say. Why do you ask about that? I thought I don't need to always stay at Rhoda since Eileen will take care of it. You're right about that. But being royalty means that some of those noble bastards will want to have their daughters marry you so that they can get the wealth and fame from you. This causes both Lillie and I to open our mouths in shock. I say, Ma marry? My mom says, and that's why we're going to talk about it. I know that you don't want to marry at a young age and you are still pursuing your dream while attending school, but we still need a statement from you so that we can let those guys stop talking. So that's what the mess in Rhoda is about. I say with anger rising in my heart. Lillie is also showing concern for me. Those guys want to force me into a loveless marriage just so they can get fame and money from us. Screw those people. I'm not going to marry any one of those people. We know, that's why we want to ask if you have someone you like and you want to spend your time with, my mom says to me. I start to have my face heat up. The thing is, there is someone who has been staying by my side since the beginning of my university life. But am I going to tell my mom and my sis in front of her? What if she doesn't feel the same way? Well, I do have, but do I really need to talk about it? I ask. Looks like my brother has grown up. Diantha smirks at me. Who is the lucky person that catches my brother's heart? Calm down, sis. I say, this is already an embarrassing topic. My mom sighs and says, Diantha, please calm down. I think I know who it is already, and thank you, Ash. Once we get back to Rhoda, we'll make a story that you're already engaged. However, it is still your choice to pick the time of your wedding. I see. I sigh, but then I notice that Lillie is staring at me. Lillie? For some reason, I feel like the air in my room starts to become cold, and she gives me a weird smile and asks, I will also want to know who is the girl that catches your heart as well. I sweat drop and say, please. Lillie. Just gimme a break, will you? It is embarrassing because that very person is actually in the same room as us. When I see Lillie's shocked face, I realize what I've said. This is the end. I said something weird. Is it for real? Lillie asks me, trying to process what I say. My mom says, well, Diantha, I think we should leave our engaged couple some alone time, should we? I also have some things that I need to talk about with Director Clavel. Of course. Diantha says, and good luck, Ash. After they leave, I turn to Lillie and I decide to come clean after all. If I get a heartbreak, then so be it. I can deal with this. Lillie. I want to say that since our meeting in Alola, I have always liked you. When I heard that you're going to the same university as me, and the fact that we have been traveling together as companions, I am really happy. And I wanted it to last forever. I like you. Lillie suddenly rushes to me and gives me a kiss, and she smiles. Ash, I like you as well. You've always been at my side, and you helped me with my fear of Pokemon. You helped me realize the fun in Pokemon battling. And I feel the same way as you. My heart is fluttering. Lillie likes me. She likes me. Now I'm feeling stupid. Why wouldn't she like me since I have been helping her a lot since our journey in Alola? But just as we are about to kiss again, we hear the furious door knocking. We groan as we open the door. Our friends are outside and I ask, what's the matter? Lillie's with you. That's great. We have the Kalos champion and the movie star Diantha in our school today, Raisa says. Yeah. Let's all go and see if we can get an autograph from her, Luke says. Calm down you guys. Lillie sighs as we all follow them. Diantha was surrounded by fans at the Mesagoza Plaza while my mom just sits at the table. She was giving autographs to fans since she's a movie star. Lillie and I notice my mom and I ask, why did it turn out to be like this again? Delia says, I don't know, she did have a disguise on, but I guess some people are still able to find out. Anyway, how were you talk? I say, I was stupid to believe that she would reject me, but I'm glad she feels the same way. I'm very proud of you too. Delia says while hugging the two of us. Just don't break her heart, Ash. I won't. I say. After my sister manages to escape, she comes to us and mutters, why did Cotty have to stay in the Kalos region? She would have helped me with dealing with these things. Well, that's because the people here are nice and friendly, you have to admit that as well, I say. How come they didn't get to ask you for autographs? Diantha asks. You were the world monarch after all. They did on my first day of school, but once we're done, they just leave it, I say. Though you also did join the same world tournament, only to be defeated by Leon in the end. At least you revenge me by defeating him, Diantha chuckles. Ash, Lillie. You're friends with the movie star Diantha? Raychiu and the others arrive and Raychiu asks in shock. She's my sister. I say. Mom, sis, these are our friends in school. After introducing them, Luke says, what the hell, Ash? Are you saying that the Kalos champion is your sister? Wasn't your father the Hoenn champion as well? I ask back, it is not that surprising. Oh, so you're Steven's son? Diantha asks Luke, and he says, yeah. I heard a lot about you from my dad, though I didn't know that you were Ash's sister. The world sure is small after all, Raychiu says. Then we decide to continue chatting until it is time for my mom and my sister to leave. Once we bid them farewell, Luke asks, so what are we going to do tomorrow? We're going to face the Open Sky Titan, I say. Although I feel sorry for Cassiopeia. I almost forgot about Team Star. Maybe you can try to defeat one of the bases next week, I'm sure she'll understand that you've been busy, Lillie says. Yeah. I nod. We just walk past Cortondo City as we are heading to the Open Sky Titan. While on our way, Luke asks me, Open Sky Titan surely has to be a flying-type Pokemon. Although I wonder what are your thoughts about the flying-type Pokemon? Flying-type Pokemon is actually a type that I use a lot, I say. Especially in Kalos, I use 3 flying-type Pokemon for the league. Yeah, and you also have a bunch of awesome Pokemon with flying types, like Oricorio. You have all 4 of them from each island, and then you have a Noivern, and even Gliscor, and a shiny Noctowl. Shiny Noctowl? That sounds really cool, Luke says. And what about the Z move? Supersonic Skydive. This one is really hard to find. I accidentally find the Z crystal and the totem in 10 Carat Hill. Kahuna Hala didn't even know that there is a totem there, I say. Yeah. Lily's sweat drops a little. When we walk at the West Province Area 1, we stop as we get a call from Arvin. Hey, Ash, Lillie, and Luke. So from what I gather, seems like the Open Sky Titan lives somewhere up on this mountain. But there are all these crazy boulders raining down from the mountain, too. It's gonna be a little tricky to stand around and look for the Titan while dodging all those. I think you'll be sent flying if you get hit by a falling boulder. But maybe you could power your way through atop that brood of yours. Wait. What do you mean crazy boulders raining down from the mountain? I ask, but Arvin just ends the call. Lillie says, for some reason, I think there is probably something dangerous up ahead. When we continue, we hear some strange noises, and when we look up the mountain, we pale as we see boulders coming from the sky and falling towards us. Are you kidding me? Where did these boulders come from? Luke asks. So this is what Arvin means crazy boulders raining down from the mountain. But we need to climb up the mountain as well, I say. I guess that was the Titan that keeps throwing the boulders, Lillie yells as we notice the giant bird on top of the mountain. I have to guess that it is a bombardier, Luke says, and I quickly check the Pokédex. It is a bird with a giant white apron that it uses to hold in its beak. Lillie, no matter what happened, I will protect you. Just stay close to me and we'll try to get close to the top of the mountain and that bombardier, I say. Lillie nods as we all get on Koraidon and Miraidon, then we start to move forward and dodge the falling boulders. It is a good thing that the road is wide enough, but what is going on here? I thought this is supposed to happen in a game that we used to play in the dorm, something like a man with a red cap trying to collect some star-shaped things. Once we reach the top of the mountain, the bombardier is now in front of us as we send out Lycanroc, Luxray, and Colossal to battle. Lycanroc, Accelrock. I decide to start the attack, and it manages to hit the bird Pokémon, but the bird Pokémon uses Rock Throw, hitting 3 of the Pokémon. Luxray. Discharge. Lillie commands, and the attack hits all of our Pokémon. Lycanroc and Colossal manage to hang on as Colossal uses Tar Shot to make it weak to fire moves and lower the speed stat. Good, now we're going into it. Then Bombardier goes for wing attack, but Lycanroc uses Fire Fang, causing the giant bird to be in pain until it starts to fly into the air. It shakes off Lycanroc, and Lycanroc bumps into me as we fall to the ground. Ash. Lillie yells. I'm fine. I slowly stand back up and see that Bombardier breaks a rock and takes the Herba Mystica. Not again, I yell. Arven arrives and says, you managed to get to the Titan somehow, huh? So that's the Open Sky Titan. Wait, is this Titan what's been dropping all these boulders? Yeah. Lillie says, but how did you get up here? I was lucky enough to be able to sneak up here because it had all its attention on you. Arven says. It looks like it's trying to power itself up. Like with some kinda mystical meal power or something. So we've better go all out. He sends out Knackley to help us, and he says, trying to drop rocks on folks is dangerous. Let's give this thing a good taste of defeat. Then the 3 of us terrestrialize our Pokémon. Lycanroc's Terra type is Rock, Colossal is Fire, and Luxray is Electric. And we start to deliver our attacks by using Stone Edge, Rock Throw, Wild Charge, and Flamethrower. Eventually, Bombardier is no match for us as it is defeated in the end. Lillie uses the chance to capture the Pokémon. Bombardier. The item drop Pokémon. Flying and Dark type. It gathers things up in an apron made from shed feathers added to the Pokémon's chest feathers, then drops those things from high places for fun. Yeah. But it's not fun. I mutter. Arven says, yes, way to go. Guys? Looks like we don't have to worry about any more boulders falling on us now, huh? Luke stares at the gate and says, there has to be more of that Herba Mystica it ate in here. We enter the cave and this time we see a lot of Herba Mystica in front of us. This time the plants are green colored. It really is here. This is one of the herbs, make no mistake, Arven says. I grab one and take a bite, but I spit it out and say, geez, this is bitter. Woohoo! We did it. Now then, let's see. What does the book have to say? Arven looks at the book and says, bitter Herba Mystica is great for your circulation. It really gets the blood flowing. And it warms you right up, nice and toasty, even boosting the immune system, or so it says. After closing the book, he says, if I can just slip this into a tasty sandwich and get him to eat some. Him? I ask, but Arven says, nothing. Well, what are we waiting for? It's time to dig in. Let's whip something up for us. Then we start to make the sandwiches, and eventually, we made the sandwiches. Here you go. My special, whimsical, herb-filled super sandwich. And it comes with a side of Titan badge. As a token of my gratitude, course. And we get the 4th badge, the flying badge, and Rotom has to take a picture of us gulping at the sandwich we made. I just hope it is not that bitter after we made this. I say as we all take a bite of the sandwich, and it is actually not bad. Wow. Although there is bitterness in the sandwich, I think it is not bad to eat, I say. You're right. Lillie says. Koraidon and Miraidon appear from our Pokeballs again, and Arven groans, oh, come on, you again? We share the sandwiches with them, and they turn to Arven. HMPH. Are they trying to say thanks or something? Well, good thing we made extras. You're helping me out a whole bunch with the hard stuff, so it's only fair that you get more. Thanks. Lillie says. I definitely, absolutely did not make extra so that Koraidon and Miraidon could have a sandwich, okay? Arven glares at the 2 Pokémon. Sure. Luke says sarcastically, and after finishing the sandwich, we see that Koraidon and Miraidon are able to change their forms. Arven says, did they grow stronger again? Man. These Herba Mystica really do pack a punch, don't they? Though I wonder what kind of form is this? Lillie says as we all look at the 2 Pokémon. Arvin walks towards the table and says, I mean, they'd better, or else I'm really up the creek. When there is only one more sandwich left, Corydon is still hungry as it tries to get to it, but Arvin yells, don't you dare touch that. That isn't for you. Hey. Why are you so rude to Corydon? And if it isn't for him, then who are you giving that sandwich to? Lillie asks. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have shouted like that. Arvin lowers his head. I guess I should at least tell you the full story. He takes out a Pokeball and mutters, come on out, bud. After throwing the Pokeball, it was a gray dog, and for some reason, I get flashbacks of Litten in Stoutland. The dog here is acting the same as the Stoutland before he passed away. This is Maybostif. My partner. Arvin frowns. Lillie says, it looks so weak. Arvin takes the sandwich and says, here you go, bud. Eat up. This sandwich should help you feel better. The Maybostif slowly munches on the sandwich, and Arvin says, slowly now. Take your time. Small bites are fine. Just chew nice and slow. I smile since he really deeply cares about his Pokemon, but I wonder why Maybostif is in that kind of state. So how did this happen? Luke asks. Arvin stands up and says, my buddy here was hurt pretty bad a while ago. Real bad, in fact. He never really recovered. What about the Pokemon Center, or maybe using potions or medicines? Lillie asks. Just then, Arvin starts to burst into tears and says, and nothing seems to help. Not potions, not Pokemon Centers, nothing. We feel sad for him, and he continues, Maybostif here is the only thing in the world I care about. The only thing. So I promised that I'd make him better, whatever it takes. I searched online, I read books. I looked all over, and tried every cure and remedy I could find. But nothing really worked. I'd almost given up hope. That's when I found out about the Herba Mystica. The book you have there, right? I ask. I found it in my mom's lab. It's this book full of crazy stories and legends and things. Stuff nobody'd usually believe. But I believe it, I think what it says is true. And according to this book, eating all 5 Herba Mystica can cure anything that ails you. Case in point. Maybostif's paws were cold as ice before he ate that last herb. But they've warmed up a little now, I'm sure they have. So the herbs really are helpful for the Pokemon. If only we had these for the Stoutland back then. Oh, you've done eating, bud? Arvin asks. The dog Pokemon slowly stands up and his eyes are starting to open. Arvin gasps. Hey. Maybostif. Can you see? Are your eyes open? Wait, he was blind. I ask. Yes, I did it. Arvin cheers. It's been so long since he was able to open his eyes. I was so worried. Oh man, I'm so glad. He kneels again, and smiles. Hey. Ehehehe. Ah, look at him. Those fiery orange little eyes. Hard to even tell if they're open or not, but I know the difference. The power of these herbs is amazing. I knew the book wasn't lying. I'm gonna bring Maybostif back to full health, I swear it. So that's your story. So we need to find 3 more herbs to cure it, Lillie says as we also nod. Once we get out of the cave, we got a call from Professor Turo this time. Hello, Ash and Lillie. This is Turo. We detect that both Corydon and Miraidon have regained more of their original power. While riding upon them, they seem you should now be able to move across water. So that form was their swimming form? I ask in shock. We're relying on you to continue taking good care of Corydon and Miraidon. Once he ends the call, we didn't get to ask about their relationship with the Ether family. Well, looks like he's gone already. Luke sighs. So are we heading back to school? On second thought, I think we should camp here. The Dark-type Team Star base is actually around the corner, I say. I see. Then we should do Cassiopeia's task tomorrow, Lillie says. And unknown to them, inside a room of the dorm, someone is watching Ash and Lillie. She mutters a smile, finally. After camping, we continue forward until we arrive at another Pokemon Center, and once we heal up our Pokemon, we manage to see some blockades with Dark-type on the flags. It is also then that we get a phone call from Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia here. I see you're getting close to one of Team Star bases. I take it this means you've decided to join my operation? Yeah. I say. We are. Thank you. With this, You're officially members of Operation Starfall, Cassiopeia says. Hold on a second. We turn to see a man walking towards us. He has a weird haircut and his hair is blonde. Does this, Operation Starfall, of yours have room for one more member? Wah? Who are you? Cassiopeia asks. He does a cool pose by trimming his hair and says, the name's Clive. Oh, and how long have you been spying on us? Cassiopeia asks. No need to get your hackles raised. I'm a pal of our mutual friends here. Isn't that right, Ash, Lillie, Luke? Clive asks. I look at the aura and I think I know who the person is, so I say, yeah, we're friends. Luke whispers to me, what the hell, Ash? You know this guy? Lillie decides to trust me and Cassiopeia says, we're talking about going up against Team Star here. It's not something you can join in for fun. I'm well aware. I just need to sort out some unsettled business with Team Star, that's all. Clive says. Besides, I tend to get the job done well. Not that you can take my word for it, but it's true. Cassiopeia is now silent, maybe she's thinking, and after a while, she says, I suppose I'm hardly in a position to refuse help. Welcome to the operation, Clive. Great, that settles it, then. Clive says. I think I heard your name earlier. Cassiopeia, was it? Who exactly are you? This sure is a question that we also want to know. Cassiopeia says, Team Star and I share some history. That's all I'll say for now. I see. In that case, I won't press you further, Clive says. Good. Now, back to business. Let's talk Operation Starfall, Cassiopeia says. So what do you want us to do? Lillie asks. Simply put, I want you to raid each one of Team Star's bases. Then you'll defeat the bosses of the team, and put an end to their rule. Put an end to their rule? You mean we need to oust these bosses from their roles somehow? I ask. That's right. Team Star is made up of 5 squads, and each of those squads has its own base. You should be able to see the front gates of one of those bases now, in fact. We turn to the base gate and Luke says, we can see them over there. On the other side of those is the base proper. Cassiopeia says. And somewhere within that base lies one of your targets, a squad boss. Okay. I'm starting to get the idea, Clive says. Well, that's just the outline. The key to the whole operation is the code that the team has to follow. If someone challenges one of the squad bosses to a battle, they have no choice but to accept. And what's more, if they just so happen to lose that battle, they must forfeit their role as boss altogether. I went ahead and issued challenges to each base under your name, Ash. My name? I ask in surprise. They're basically declarations of war. Now all of Team Star knows that we're looking for a fight. So let's say we defeat all the bosses and they step down from their roles. What happens next? Clive asks. The rest of the team crumbles with no one left to lead them. That's what happens. It's a solid plan, but not without wrinkles. Each base has a bunch of Pokemon inside to fend off intruders, and the bases themselves are a considerable size. Your garden variety trainer would be overrun long before they'd get anywhere near the boss. That's why your skills are essential to this operation, Ash, Lillie, and Luke. Defeat the Pokemon inside the base, and drag the boss out from where they're hiding. I see. Lillie says. First things first, though, you'll need to deal with any grunts that might be guarding the front gates. And what will you be doing in the meantime? Clive asks. Like I said before, I have a history with Team Star. That means I can't operate out in the open. I'll back you up from afar, Cassiopeia says. All right. And what will my role be? Clive asks. Sorry, but I don't trust you completely just yet. For now, I'd like you to monitor the bases and act as their support. You're a cautious one, all right. I respect that, Clive says. I'll be in touch again when the plan advances to the next stage. Good hunting out there, Cassiopeia says as she ends the call. After the call ends, I ask, Director Clavel, what are you actually doing here? Director Clavel? Lillie and Luke gasped in shock. I have no idea what you mean, but if anyone asks you about me, remember this. I'm Clive, a normal university student just like you. Nothing more, nothing less. Sure. But I guess he means that he wants us to keep his identity a secret. I say, I see. Then let's go. When we continue forward, Luke says, "You say that this guy is Director Clavel. But why would he come here?" Lillie says, "What if he's here to punish us for going against Team Star?" I say, "I don't think he's going to punish us. I think he's here because he'll be able to talk to whoever's the boss here. Team Star is made up of students after all." When we walk to the base, the grunt says, "Whoa, whoa, hold it, you." Up ahead's the base of operations for Team Star's dark crew. You may know us as the Second Squad. Yup. And we don't take too kindly to random kids sniffing around our turf. Sorry, but if you don't turn yourself around here, amigo, we'll have to send you packing. Then you should try us. Lillie says. Wait, hold up. Just going on a hunch here, but are you that Ash kid? You know, that piece of work we're out to get for declaring war on Team Star? Maybe I am. I say with a smirk. Maybe I am, he says. Cool as a cucumber, honesty's not always the best policy, you know. You know what? Doesn't matter who you are. You're not getting through. Buzz off or get thrashed by me in battle, kids. What'll it be? We can take you on just fine. Luke says. Graw, the female grunt groans. Sassy kids like you are the worst. That's it. Prepare to get stomped into the dirt. She sends out Murkrow to battle, but Lillie has Snowy use Ice Beam and knock it out with ease. Why did such a sassy kid have to be so strong? The female grunt yells. How the heck could I lose? Well, whatever, it's your problem now. Finish up here for me, would ya, bud? K. Thanks, hasta la vista. Then the female grunt runs away, and the other grunt mutters, hasta la vista. He turns to us. She's new to the team, you know. Might have to have a little chat with her about that attitude. He sighs and says, well, I'm gonna go into the base now and give the rest of the squad the heads up. We'll come at you full force if you set food inside, so you might want to consider turning tail. Hasta la vista. After the grunt leaves, I say, that means we can enter the base? And much to our delight, Cassiopeia calls. I see you took care of the guards. Nice work. Now, hold up in that base as Team Star's dark crew. The second squad. Their boss, Giacomo, pretty much runs the whole of Team Star, and he also produced that wild soundtrack of theirs himself. Oh, looks like we picked the hardest one first, Luke says. He's a sharp guy. Even our declaration of war won't have ruffled him in the slightest. His plan is probably to wear you down with a wave of grunts, then finish you off himself. No use trying to outthink strategic ties like him. Bring him down with a head-on attack. Just keep on defeating as many Pokemon as you can until the big man himself shows up. Ring the bell on the gates once you're ready to kick off this phase of the operation. Time to wipe the second squad off the map. Once we end the call, Luke says, Dark type. So I bet that there are going to be a lot of tricky Pokemon. I say, not all Dark type Pokemon are evil, though. I have a few of them that are good to use. Like Weavile, it is very fast. Houndoom is also powerful. Zoroark has a nice ability to perform illusions, and also Obstagoon with its Obstruct. And the Black Hope Eclipse from the Dark-type Z move is like Rock-type, one of the Z crystals given by the Kahuna. At first he refuses to give Ash one because his heart is not evil enough, but he still gives him because Ash threatens him with Lycanroc. Ash threatens? Luke says, that's not something I would expect from him. I know some ways. Being evil is not that hard to do. The only thing preventing me is my consciousness. I say as we ring the bell. Clive says, careful now, guys. Team Star has a unique way of doing battle. They call it a star barrage. They will be sending multiple Pokemon to battle. If your Pokemon get low on health, come back here and I'll heal them up for you. Thanks. I say. The grunts you'll be facing will heal up their Pokemon, too, so stay sharp out there. Then we hear the speaker, heads up, gang. Some jumped up kids have wandered in thinking they can raid our base. Clearly, they don't know who they're messing with. Let's teach them a lesson they won't forget. To our unwanted guests. If they can defeat 30 of our Pokemon in the next 10 minutes, our boss might just honor you with an appearance. Then they send out Ponyard, Zorua, Sandile, Stunky, Murkrow, Sneasel, and Sableye to battle. The three of us use Crabominable, Breloom, and Sudowoodo to battle the Pokemon, and just like Clive said, after defeating one of them, they will quickly heal them before sending them out again. And it is a good thing that all of them are fighting type, but with that amount of Pokemon, it is starting to weaken us a lot. Once we defeat 30 Pokemon, a grunt yells, "They're way above our level. We've gotta get the boss." As we see the grunts fleeing, we are standing there preparing to meet the boss named Giacomo. As we finish defeating the grunt's dark-type Pokemon, we hear the sound of the engine, and we are shocked to see that a giant car appears in front of us. Does it seem to be powered up by some Pokemon? I mean, there are eyes on the wheels and one sitting on the front. On top of the car, a senior with a cap and headphones on is standing in front of us. He has a laptop in his hand that is playing some sort of boss music. "You've done a real number on us, party crashers, Ash, Lillie, and Luke, wasn't it?" Giacomo asks. "So you know our names." Lillie says. "I'm Giacomo. At the deck, I go by DJ Vice. Call me whichever, it's a vibe either way. Nice to meet you and all. But how about we skip straight to your outro? Don't worry, I'll play you a sick requiem as you crash and burn. Let's get this party started." And much to our surprise, he just tosses out 6 Pokeballs in an instant, and there is Zoroark, Cacturne, Honchkrow, Crocodile, Mabostiff, and a Pokemon that looks like a Bisharp but with heavy armor. Was that Bisharp's evolution or some sort? Zoroark, Cacturne, Honchkrow, Crocodile, Mabostiff, and Kingambit. Luke says. All of them are dark-type Pokemon. Might as well do this. Giacomo says as he also uses the Terra Orb to power up the Kingambit, and it has an evil smile on top of the Pokemon. You don't really thin things through, do ya? Declaring war on Team Star is a real bad move. Luke, just leave these to both of us. I say, I want you to help us heal our Pokemon when one of us faint. Okay. Luke says. Lillie and I send out Slacking, Colossal, Breloom, Ampharos, Crabominable, and Flapple to battle, and for our sake, we terrestrialize Breloom, which becomes a fighting type, and Flapple, which becomes a dragon type with the dragon wings on its head. Zoroark goes for Night Daze, hitting Ampharos, but Ampharos goes for Signal Beam to hit it back, then Flapple goes for Grab Apple, dropping the apple on top of it, but Zoroark uses Shadow Claw to break the apple in half. Huh. How's that for an open and track? I'll spin you up good, party crashers. Zoroark. Agility and Zen Headbutt on that Crabominable. Giacomo yells as the Pokemon tries to use the Zen Headbutt, and with Mabostiff helping him with Play Rough, I have Slacking use Focus Punch and defeat the Zoroark in the end. Cacturne is protecting itself using Spiky Shield as Breloom is injured while trying to use Mach Punch, and then with the help of Honchkrow's Hurricane, Breloom is eventually defeated. Come on. Breloom was terrestrialized. I groan as bring Breloom to Luke so he can help heal it. Ampharos. Signal Beam on Cacturne. I yell, but Honchkrow is blocking the way with the Tailwind, and then Cacturne goes for the Thunder Punch, slamming at Colossal. But Colossal goes for the Flamethrower. Cacturne can't take the hit and it is defeated. We'll have to play it smart. I say as I command Colossal to use Stone Edge on Honchkrow, but Honchkrow goes for the Psychic Attack to defeat Crabominable. Then it goes for Dark Pulse and makes Slacking flinch while trying to use Hammer Arm. Damn it. This is not the good time to flinch. Slacking has to wait for another turn thanks to the Truant ability. Lillie mutters. And Ampharos goes for the Thunderbolt, defeating Honchkrow in the end, but both Ampharos and Colossal are hit by the Earthquake, and both Pokemon go down in the end. Ash, Breloom is ready to go. Luke says as I have Breloom back to the field, and I have it use Bullet Seed on Crocodile, before it goes for the Fire Fang and makes Breloom burn. Spore. I decide to use the attack and make both Mabostiff and Crocodile fall asleep, and then Flapple goes for another Grab Apple to defeat Crocodile, while both Breloom and Slacking use Hyper Beam and Mach Punch to defeat the Mabostiff. Kingambit. Kowtow Cleave. Giacomo is now panicking as he has the Kingambit defeat Slacking, and much to our delight, Crabominable is back on the field thanks to Luke, and I have it use Crab Hammer on Kingambit, thought it gets hit by Stone Edge. Breloom goes with the Drain Punch, absorbing what's left of Kingambit's health, but it gets flinches after being hit by the Iron Head. Flapple goes for Dragon Pulse, eventually defeating the Kingambit. Now you lost, I say. Your 6 Pokemon are defeated. But Giacomo just smirks, time to up the tempo. This show ain't over yet. Just then, much to our surprise, He jumps off the car and the Pokemon on top of the car goes for the Intimidate, much to our surprise. Are you telling me that car is the Pokemon as well? I gasp in shock. Go. Second Star Mobile. Use Wicked Torque, and much to our shock, the giant car crashes at Flapple with dark energy, and it lowers the special defense of the Pokemon. Damn it. Crabominable. Use Brick Break. Lillie yells as the crab Pokemon starts to destroy the mobile sides. Luke says, Colossal and Ampharos are also done. Good. I send those two out as I have Colossal use Tar Shot and Ampharos goes for the single beam. Both attacks manage to hit the Starmobile, but it goes for Metal Sound lowers our defense, and then it goes for Spin Out, defeating Crabominable. Are you kidding me right now? I just revived Crabominable. Luke yells. Wicked Torque again. Giacomo yells, and the attack hits Ampharos and lowers the special defense and much to our shock, putting Ampharos to sleep. Dragon Pulse and Close Combat, Flamethrower. We decide to continue to attack the car until the car starts to shake as it starts to become unstable. I say, let's attack one more time. Lillie yells and Ampharos finally wakes up. We use Grav Apple, Force Palm, Stone Edge, and Signal Beam again, and eventually, the car stops moving and weird noises have been heard. There's smoke coming from the mobile and the Pokemon both on the wheels and the front have swirls on their eyes. I guess that's that. Giacomo kneels on the ground with shock as his Starmobile is also destroyed. I did the best I could. I wrote that code myself, and there's no going back on it now. My days as a boss are over. He stands back up and walks towards me. So here, take my star badge, would y'all? Of course. Even this boss have a badge, although there is only one of them. I look at Lillie, who nods and asks me to take it, and of course, Rotom also takes the picture after I shake hands with Giacomo. That sure was a tough battle. You're also strong as well. Thanks. Huh. So this is how the party ends. Giacomo frowns. But let's talk about those Pokemon of yours. They're crazy strong, huh? You learn those trainer chops at the academy. Like, what moves you should use, and stuff. The thing is, Lillie and I just moved into the school for a month. I say. But we did learn some more after getting into the school. Huh. Okay. You like it at the academy? Having fun? Giacomo asks. Well, I'm enjoying it. Lillie says. No kiddin', Giacomo says. Clive walks towards us and says, sorry to interrupt, but are you Giacomo? Whoa ho. Wasn't expecting a giant pompadour to make a guest appearance today. You get a Quaxwell to style that up for y'all. We chuckle a little as he's talking about the director's weird hair. I'm just after a quick word. Would you mind? Clive asks. Sure. I can tell it's gonna be something annoying, but I guess I'm newly freed up for time. Thanks. I'll get straight to it. Clive says. It seems all of you in Team Star are headed for expulsion if you keep up your current activities. So why won't you break up the team and start attending class at the academy again? That's what you want to know, Giacomo asks. As it happens, we're actually waiting on a pal. Though we don't know if they'll be coming back. A pal? A close friend of yours, are they? Clive asks. They're only the strongest boss in all of Team Star. Like how there's a top champion who's the absolute #1 trainer, you know. They're the ones who invited us other bosses to form the team. We call him the Big Boss. And where is this big boss of yours now? Clive continues. Wouldn't we like to know? We haven't heard from him in, I dunno. Must be a year and a half now. We thought that if we kept Team Star going, then they'd get back in touch one day. But the teachers keep pressing us to call quits, and then we get party chasers like you four. He was trying to be angry at us, but he can't. Maybe the big boss did ditch us. They were talking about breaking up the team before and all. So, Team Star and this big boss of yours, they're really that important to you? Clive asks. Hey. Is the sky blue? Giacomo asks. Let me put in words you eggheads at the academy might understand. They're my greatest treasure. After leaving the base, we get a call from Cassiopeia. Guys. It's me. It seems Giacomo no longer carries his star badge, the symbol of his status as a boss. He gave it to you, did he? Yeah. I say. I see. With its boss out of the picture, the second squad is pretty much done for. Then suddenly, Cassiopeia becomes silent a little. Oh, Giacomo. Is everything alright? Lillie asks. Sorry. Got caught up in my thoughts for a second. Now, about your reward. I'll transfer some LP over to your phone as promised. And I will also give you a replica of the Team Star badge that I made for you as well, Lillie. Now I wonder if this Cassiopeia is the big boss of Team Star. If that's the case, why will she want us to destroy the bases? What is her goal? But I guess we can think about this at a later time. I also took the liberty of adding some new entries to the range of TMs you can make at TM machines. These new TMs should help you improve your Pokemon's battle capabilities even further. In any case, you did some solid work out there. So much so that you deserve an extra reward. Someone from my supply unit will be there soon to give you some materials for making TMs. And just after the call ended, we waited for 5 minutes until the same girl with the EV bag shows up. Hello. I'm Penny. From the supply unit. We know, the girl we saved back at the school stairs. I say. We were glad to help. Oh, so you do remember. But, I'm helping out with Operation Starfall as part of my independent study. You know, the treasure hunt. I'm good with machines and hacking and stuff, so I'll be working behind the scenes. So, here you go. Your bonus reward from Cassiopeia. We were given some Pokemon materials, and Lillie also gets her own dark badge. And Cassiopeia said you'll get more rewards each time you take out one of Team Star's bases. Also, I heard all about how you had your Pokemon charge into battle. Seems you were pretty amazing. With trainers as strong as you on our side, I'm sure the operation will go just fine. There's 4 more squad bosses left, so, good luck. Then she bids us farewell, and then I'm also wondering, is Penny Cassiopeia? Since she is also good at hacking and stuff, to be continued. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts and reviews in the comment box. Now I will see you in the next video.